So let's go ahead and start off with campaign. So the campaign is a direct sequel to Modern Warfare 2 from last year. I think they emphasize that this is the first time they're ever doing a direct sequel year from, previous year. I think I think the last time it was like this, it was like Call of Duty 1 to Call of Duty 2 and the original days. But we haven't had a direct sequel within a year in a long time. And the campaign, they showed us, I believe, three. No, they showed us two missions,
I think they
right?
said
They
this is
showed us.
first time in franchise history. I don't even think COD 1 to COD 2 because you had Call of Duty Finest Hour and all those other handheld games between them.
That is true. Yeah. The I think they showed us two missions, the prison, and then they showed us the crash site mission. But the major thing with the campaign this year is the fact that the campaign has what they're calling open combat missions. So the open combat missions will allow people to explore sort of the environment that's there within a mission, and you get to pick and choose how you want to play each of those open combat missions. You get to pick, if you want to take a certain path, if you want to use, go guns blazing, or you want to go with a silencer and stealth and sort of in a, secretive style of missions. And you get to pick and choose how you play, but also it's not like you can just play through it in one path and
Tom,
automatically
thank you
be
so much, bro.
successful.
You were
They
goaded for
did
that.
show
Appreciate
us
that. I appreciate you
they
guys. I
showed
can't
us a
talk that much during the
video
pod though.
of the mission they're calling Crash Site. Um, they showed us the mission, and that mission specifically, it it had the player go through a variety of different styles, and every time it failed, it would sort of rewind back to the start and make you restart. You accidentally didn't see an enemy in the first path you took, and then you get caught, or you get blown up by a C4 or a claymore mine as you go through the whole area. So the open combat area, it lets you play the mission. One of the ways they described it was that like this is the most YouTubeable campaign. That's a word. I
Oh
don't know if that's a
yeah,
word.
yeah.
That's how they said it. Like it's like you can watch like walkthroughs of how a certain mission might be because you might have played it a completely different way than when you played it. And so they said that there's going to be half of the campaign, well, not half in like direct order, but there will be half the missions are linear missions that you're used to in previous COD games, and then the other half of the missions are like open combat in this new style. Um, but
And
I
they
mean, I in
describe
my
those linear missions as like kind of like the traditional COD. When Charlie says that, he means like the crazy Michael Bay movie type explosions, cool guy type shit. Whereas the other one is going to be more of a off the rails thing. So it's going to feel very different for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole point of this was like people will be able to go back and play through the missions and play through the campaign again multiple times, right? You can play it through as many times as you want to, and when you play the open combat missions, you'll be able to get sort of a new experience as you keep going through it. But the other aspect too is the base story. So if you guys played Modern Warfare 2 2022, they talked about the ending cutscene where you're on the airplane with Makarov that's in the trailer. And so that mission is called Hijacked or Hijack. It's Hijack. Yeah, it's called Hijack. It's in this game. You get to finally actually play it. You're hijacking an airplane, which I think is going to be very interesting to see the reaction to that. Um, because I think in one part of the scene you could hear like a baby crying right in the background, which
You
is
could,
interesting.
yeah, you
But
could hear women screaming as soon as he brandishes the pistol. Like it's gonna be one of those
yeah,
things where it's gonna be you're gonna see articles about this from like New York Times and shit.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. And then they also, I think a lot of people get this sort of mixed up or think about this, but they did, specifically mention that this Modern Warfare 3 has nothing to do with the original games, just like the last two games. The history that we had in the past between the 141 and Makarov is not the same as the current history. It's different, but they do have sort of that history there. They said General Shepard is back, and that I mean, the main overall point of the story is that Makarov is leading the Kony faction group into doing false flag operations around the world and blaming these terrorist attacks around the world on the U.S. or on Farah and her teams and her groups, and they're just going around the world trying to blame other countries and other people for their actual terrorist attacks. And that that plane scene, the hijack mission, you're going to crash the airplane, is what they said. Like the plane will come down, you'll take down the whole airplane, um, and you'll kill. I think it says 123 passengers is what the cutscene they showed us said, which is intense. But um, you know, you'll get to play it and experience the campaign.
Yeah, and like I think one of the parts that they mentioned whenever they were talking about the campaign is like people say that these games have nothing to do with the original, Modern Warfare series, but that's not true. But while they're not directly tied, the people that have been working on the game told us that they have taken inspiration from the OG games, but it's not like they're following it one to one. Obviously, as you see, like we're doing No Russian again, but this time we're doing it on a plane instead of in the airport. Like for instance, and there's also I've been seeing other fans mention this, like some of the screenshots that have been revealed already show basically what we can assume will be that plane after it crashes. You know what I'm talking about, Charlie? With like the plane in
Mhm.
half and it's on fire. We can assume
Yeah.
that, and that gives me heavy turbulence vibes from I believe it was Modern Warfare 3 where they did turbulence. So it's like they're not stuck following game by game these actions, but they're kind of going the same route. Like Makarov did do the same thing with the false flag at Zakhaev International Airport whenever he killed, I forget whatever our name was, whatever our US CIA guy's name was, but it's basically following the same tropes just with a different setting. And I'm actually fine for that. I like that. It feels like fan service to a degree.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it is a fan service one, but I mean, it just seems like one of the things they mentioned was like this is the story arc that they've built, right? That there was going to be 3 games, and this is a story sort of arc that they've been working on for a long time. And I think a lot of people mentioned this and saw this in the trailer, but yeah, there are locations from Verdansk that are back in the campaign. I think that's important for people to realize it's back in the campaign and not necessarily back in like every other mode. It's the campaign, and it's not all of Verdansk either. I think what did we I think we saw what the
They
dam.
they announced 2, so whenever they were talking to us about it, I feel like we saw 3 locations, and I'm not sure what the third one was exactly, but it did look like it was from Verdansk.
There
They
was
only
the
confirmed 2. It was
stadium
Gora
and the
Dam and Prison, is what they said. They didn't mention
stadium
stadium in
is in
our
the
thing.
trailer.
I know.
Yeah, I didn't mention it, but it was in the trailer. But yeah, they videos they showed us at the studio too was an open combat mission. It was like Verdansk though. I think it was near the dam area, but you would go down there and it would explore and complete objectives as part of the open combat aspect. But yeah, they didn't say it's all of Verdansk. It's just back. It's just some locations from there are back, and they also confirmed that there'll be missions in the Europe, in St. Petersburg, in London, in Siberia, and a bunch of other places too. So it's not like they're just taking people to Verdansk. There's going to be a lot of different places that the campaign will feature, and it will let people go to um, throughout the story.
Yeah, and
But
then once they showed us, so they showed us the ending of what they showed us the reveal trailer. You guys all got to watch, and then at the end we get to see Makarov or whoever, one of his agents in the plane with the no Russian text message, pull the gun. They also say during that part, they say that 141 races across Urzikstan to get to crash site. The Coney operators are already there, staging evidence and altering the black box, and the Coney operators are Makarov's people. So, I mean, they gave us quite a bit of details. So it seems like because that was an open combat mission, right? That was the one they showed us as an example, was around that crash site. So that's going to be around Urzikstan, which is also very, very nearby to Verdansk. Like all of the, I feel like this might be a bold prediction, but it seems like based off what they showed us so far, all of the open combat missions are near Verdansk. I mean, that might be a far leap, but that's what it seems like to me so far.
I mean, the crash site did not look like Verdansk at all.
No, but they said Urzikstan, and Urzikstan is only like you. Do you remember whenever we had Verdansk
Yeah,
84, and
but
then they blew up that mountain and you could see it? That's like was supposed to be
yeah,
Urzikstan or near,
yeah,
near the
but I
Ural
mean,
Mountains. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but I think that's it for the campaign. Unless you want to add anything else.
No, it
My
seemed pretty
notes.
cool. I
I mean,
mean,
it seems like yeah, it's a cool campaign. It's just like previously, there is if you pre-order or pre-purchase, I think digitally only, you can get to yeah, it's digital pre-orders only can play the campaign up to 1 week early. Um, they didn't say the date, but if it's the exact same system as last year, it should be November 2nd. Um, because last year it was a week and a day early. So it was the same thing as last year, November 2nd for the campaign for anybody who pre-orders digitally. and that's for either of the editions. If you buy standard or vault, you don't have to like buy the vault for its any editions and all platforms too. So that's the campaign. Um, I don't. I think the only other thing I wanted to add was that they showed us a cinematic cutscene of one point at the campaign, and I have to say, for the first 10 seconds of that cutscene they were showing us, I thought we were watching a real movie, like a
Oh
real
yeah.
like it wasn't even like it did not look like a gameplay. It did not look like a cinematic from a video game. It looked like an actual movie, but then it cut to like the water and then the actual like you go into the player and start playing in the water, but it was like the graphics in this game look like insanely better compared to last year. And I don't know how they did that, but it looks insanely good on what we saw at the
Yeah.
studio.
And I took some notes on that part, and like just to reiterate for people, I wrote that like in my notes while I'm like frantically writing things down. Like as you can see, I was typing all that. I'm sitting right next to Charlie as we're doing it. I took the time out to put comma, this looks beautiful, and like like the shit was gorgeous. It really was. One last thing to point out that nobody else got to see, that we're allowed to share, is that whenever we were there and they showed us the mission of the gulag, like they're going in to get whoever they're going to get, it shows us at the bottom left of the screen. It shows us the date, time. It's sometime in October. I didn't get the exact date. I believe it's 2023. And the mission is called Operation 627. So any of you COD fans who knows who Prisoner 627 is, that's going to be a pretty interesting little bit of fan service there for you as well. Other than that, I don't think of anything else of the campaign that there is to share.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys watch the reveal trailer, you'll see like the majority of the reveal trailer is that prison mission.
Mm-hmm.
It is that you see the grappling down, and now they didn't show us who you rescue either in the
Nope.
in the mission. The gameplay they showed us, it ended as soon as they breached the door to see the prison. So we don't know who they're gonna rescue either from that. But that was we saw that mission, and then we saw the crash site mission. So two missions we saw. Hopefully they reveal those soon publicly, but we'll see what they end up showing. So that's campaign. Um, my notes has zombies next, so let's go to zombies. But one thing about zombies that I'll just briefly start off in is that the Call of Duty blog and what they announced today is very small compared to what they actually told us.
Really?
The blog only has one paragraph about it and none of like the sort of in-depth details we kind of got on it. So they sent us like a sheet too, and the sheet just has like three sentences about it. But so we'll go a little bit more in depth in what our tweets were. I know some people were asking like, how did you guys get that zombies info? It's just we were told this by Treyarch. So the Treyarch developers um had a pre-recorded video at the studio brief, and I think the best way to summarize zombies in the new game is you take like the best of DMZ and the best of Outbreak, and you put it together, and you get Modern Warfare zombies.
Yep.
The story setup is that the zombies takes place in between the events of Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2020, Modern Warfare 2 2022. It takes place in between that, but they did state that the zombies experience connects fully to Treyarch's storyline. So like it is part of the Treyarch storyline. It continues sort of their narrative that they've been working on, and it will expand upon it. And one of the things that I forgot to tweet out, but they did show us briefly in the presentation the TAC map overview of the new Warzone map, which is also the map in Zombies. It's the
Mm-hmm.
same map you'll play in Warzone and Zombies. They showed us the TAC map. Um, there was no POIs or anything listed on there. It was just an overview TAC map. And the outline of that looked like, what people have been saying from last year's campaign, that Las Almas, but everything inside was different, right? It took place in the Middle East. It had that Verdansk-like terrain in it.
Mm-hmm.
It had all that. We couldn't pick out POIs, but it looked very different than what we saw in that campaign image. So if you guys are expecting sort of one for one from the campaign, I wouldn't, because that's not what it is. So
Yeah.
that's the map.
It was definitely different. One thing that I put in my notes about the map whenever we got to see it is, I mean, we only saw it for like maybe a minute max, and we were trying to listen to zombie stuff, so it was hard to like completely get every detail of the map down. But there are some rivers running throughout it, kind of like there's a middle island that's surrounded by rivers. And then the rest of the map, like based on what they currently had on that little map they were showing us with zombies, there were a ton of buildings. I will say that. That's what's in my notes, that there is a ton of buildings, and it looks like there's a lot of potential for close quarters combat.
Yeah, so the thing about zombies for this time though is that it's exclusively PvE. So there is no PvP element at all in zombies. It's only PvE, and it's co-op with multiple squads. I thought they said squads of up to four.
That's what my
I
notes
have,
said.
but then someone sent me a message saying Noah J said on his stream it was up to six in a squad. I thought it was four from what my notes had. But either way, it's a total of 24
Oh,
players in a match.
Noah's right. It's in my notes right here. It says
Oh,
multiple
okay.
squads, 24 players, squads of 6 in parentheses.
Okay, well, I got that wrong then. But yeah, so it is squads. It's up to 24 players, and so up to six people in a single squad. And you are on this sort of player journey. The one thing that they mentioned was like it's not like you get to play this and play this forever. It's not like you get to go on and play for like, for a while or whatever. You have like an hour or so play sessions that you get to play in before the storm starts closing in and you have to exfil. And you have to exfil with whatever you've earned, right? If you earn gear, you earn certain weapons. If you earn certain upgrades that you find throughout the map, you have to exfil with them. And one of the things they did mention was the fact that as you earn these upgrades and you earn sort of these different things, you're able to then utilize those in the game menu to upgrade your loadout and kit for the next match that you play. It's like things carry over. So it's not like you lose everything that you have. You get to keep the things that you have and keep progressing as you keep playing it through, which I think is a good thing. It lets people sort of move over with it. But um,
I'm seeing
yeah,
a
hey,
fair bit of
J-Dot, yeah,
pushback already.
you're muted on Spaces, by the way.
Okay. I'm seeing a fair bit of pushback already from the zombies community about what they think this is going to be. I'm not going to say whether or not I think it's going to be good. I will say that this, I've even seen somebody in my kick chat right now refer to it as DM zombies. This is like we originally said. This is basically a combination of the two of them. I do see a lot of DMZ people are upset that there is no opportunity for PvP, which is kind of an interesting choice, but at the same time, like I can't think like, when was the last time we had that game mode in Zombies where you could PvP? I think that was BO2 that did it, right? I forget the name of the game mode. I don't think anybody really played that back then. And I think this was more so about the last Zombies we got was with Vanguard, and they want to make their image of zombies better, and this is the first introduction of it into the Modern Warfare mode. Yeah, the game mode was called Grief. And this is their first introduction of zombies, besides in the Warzone storyline with those with the Verdant story. This is their first time trying to do a Modern Warfare zombies, and I think they want to really establish the universe. And I don't think they want to have PvP elements in that. Like, I think they want to build a story with this.
Well, I mean, I know people want round based, but I think that's like Treyarch's thing for Treyarch's game, right? Why would they bring round based to like a
Mm-hmm.
non-Treyarch direct game? So it makes sense to like have round based for their game. I think this is a new sort of experience, a new way to play. I think their goal with this is to attract sort of that middle ground players of people who want a co-op experience and people who liked Outbreak. Um, if you're going into this game expecting like round based stuff, whatever, I wouldn't. This is not like a round based experience than like you've seen in the past. But I mean, one of the things they did mention though is that like there are sort of stages of this in this game when you play, because it's like as you keep going, you start off, there's like a human enemy faction along with other zombies there. And then as you keep progressing through a new area, you get higher difficulty and it's just zombies. And at the very end of the sort of experience there, it's like no humans at all and it's elite and like the best and highest, level of zombies you can find. So it's like there's a progressive sort of story that you play. And they did say there were cinematic aspects to this too. So there might be cinematic like store cinematic videos and trailers and stuff that you keep sort of going with it. But it is like an escalation of, in many ways, like there are rounds of areas, right? Like, you start off with the easy enemy factions and then you move forward to higher and higher um, difficulty of enemies. I think the other aspect too is the fact that like they mentioned that if you get to the sort of the end stage, it will teleport you to a separate area with
Yeah.
just your squad. So it's not like you take all 24 players, it's just your own squad that you dropped in with to a completely separate area that you'll drop into, and then you'll have to fight only zombies. And in those areas, you can earn even better rewards. And if you upgrade those rewards, you also get sort of like cinematic elements, they said, They didn't say like, if you get like a trailer or something in there, but they did said there was cinematics at that point. So I think there is motivation to continue playing this and continue progressing in this to get better at it. And we'll have to see how often they update it with sort of content that people want. But
Yeah.
this is a very different zombies experience. And I think if you're a fan of a DMZ, you probably would enjoy this but there's no PvP element. If you are a fan of Outbreak, this is certainly for you as a mode.
Yeah, you'll definitely enjoy this if you enjoyed Outbreak. I mean, it just seems like it kind of like polished what Outbreak was and added all the best elements of DMZ in. So part of what I want to do on these things on our podcast, whenever myself and Charlie are lucky enough to get to go to the studios, is try to keep the transparency as much as possible with you guys and share everything we possibly can that we got to see, because we could share everything from that presentation. We weren't allowed to take pictures or videos, so we can't like show you the pictures of what the slides look like or what the next Warzone map looks like, but we can describe it. I have seen a few tweets of people saying, and like Charlie also said, there's a lot of zombies information you guys didn't get that we got. And during one of the screens, I put in my notes that the menu looks exactly like DMZ. A backpack is included. It's almost like that infill screen you get before you start a round of DMZ. Like you get to choose what you bring in with you. And during, they also mentioned acquisitions, these one-time use things that you get that you can take out with you to use in a later round to make you more powerful. And I've seen a couple people tweeting about this, wondering what they were. So one of those acquisitions, like in the image that we saw on our PowerPoint or our presentation, was an image of a ray gun case, and it was like gold rarity. So you could activate a ray gun case or take a ray gun case in with you to use when you want to get a ray gun. I mean, it didn't tell us exactly how it worked. But these other items that you could put in your backpack included brain rot ammo mod, a juggernog can, so you can just start the round off with juggernog, death perception, which I'm assuming is a perk, refined ethereum crystal, and a napalm burst ammo mod. Those were the things that we saw from those pictures that you were going to be allowed to take in with you. But other than that, I mean, you guys pretty much have heard everything. There's the most interesting thing that I've already seen some zombies lore people complain about is the human faction, which I think is kind of interesting. I didn't really think when we were told about that there would be a problem with it, but I could see why.
I don't see the problem though. It's not like they continue on as human factions for the whole game. It's just the starting area. There are zombies with the human factions too at the start. It's just at the start to set it up, and then you keep progressing forward. I don't think that's the worst thing because they already said that it's not at the end stages of it. So
I don't think it was either, because could you imagine how boring the game would get if your only threat on a map as big as a Warzone map is something meleeing you, especially with vehicles and all the other things involved that Outbreak could have? You need somebody to be able to shoot at you.
yeah. Uh, the zombies story. I'm just reading through some of the tweets about zombies, but that you guys have been asking. It does connect to Treyarch story. They didn't say how. They said you'll find out when you play it. But it does connect to the story overall. And then I saw someone say, why is it capped at hour-long play sessions? The point of that was that like the storm closes and that you have to get out and upgrade your loot. Because if you could play for like forever, there is going to be an endpoint at some point for it.
Yeah.
It's not like a never-ending sort of situation. They're saying that they were looking at like an hour or so game session so that you can pull out and then you're able to upgrade all your stuff in the menus and then have a full kit ready because I'm sure people will, fail a couple of times while trying to drop in. And then you'll learn more about the map, learn how to play and learn how to, new paths to take on the map to get there. Um, I think it's going to be, I mean, people talking about nostalgic aspects, they've confirmed that there is going to be like a mix of DMZ elements with there's buy stations, ammo depots, and stuff like that. But then they also confirmed that there's going to be things like the Pack-a-Punch, mystery boxes, wall buys, and stuff from original zombies. So there's a mix of like the Treyarch stuff and then also the modern warfare sort of features that we've seen in DMZ.
And this is just in my notes, and I almost missed this. It says, like in my notes for the human enemy faction, I forgot they told us this, but it mentions that they create a full new path to success. And then they said encampments, strongholds, and fortresses. So apparently, like they'll have their own like bases, and they'll get stronger as you go more towards the center of zone. But then, like you said, that last zone, the final zone where it'll be the hardest zombies on the map, there should be no humans there.
Yeah, it says my notes I put there's no humans at the very end, so
Yeah.
that's
And
not there. But
my note says high threat zone equals Margwas plus elites and more. So they specifically mentioned Margwas and that was also used in the image that they used to promote the game today.
Yeah. I mean, they called this the largest pure PvE experience in Call of Duty history. So the largest pure PvE, and they also said that it takes the best of Modern Warfare sort of gameplay elements and combines it with Treyarch zombies and gameplay loop of Treyarch zombies. But people have been asking for like reveal or like trailer gameplay, but they said that's will be in the future. Um, that will be in the future, but they're not gonna uh, show anything else for now.
I was surprised we learned as much as we did, to be honest. I did not think when we went there we were going to learn anything about zombies.
Yeah, they talked about it a lot.
They did. It was
That
a
was
big
good.
part of the presentation.
Yeah. So that's zombies. I think looking at my notes and we talked about everything I have in my notes. So let's go to multiplayer. What everybody I guess has been waiting for in uh
The Twitter space.
yeah, in the Twitter world or everywhere world at this point. Things were leaking since Monday and now we can all sort of talk about a lot of it. So yes, the core experience, the 6v6 experience will have the 16 Modern Warfare 2 2009 maps. Um these maps are fully like remastered and brought to life in a much more modern way in the new engine, the new gameplay and all that stuff. I saw people claiming that it's we have terminal and high rise in Al Mazrah, it'll be the same from there. They've already confirmed it's not. It has nothing to do with the Al Mazrah versions. These are full remasters of the original '09. So, you know, high rise will probably have the crane, right? It does not exist in Al Mazrah version, and terminal is kind of different in some areas. And so this is the original maps fully remastered. And that's the launch maps from a 6v6 perspective. So those are these 6v6 maps available on day one in the game. They have confirmed that there will be over 12 new core 6v6 maps throughout the live seasons. So if there's 6 seasons, that's around two per season. But they did say over 12, so I'm hoping that there will be um a lot more than 12, but they have at least given us a number of 12. So that's that's the 6v6 maps. Now, just to point out that I think this is probably the best way we could have gotten old maps to come back,
You think so?
right? Because if you sit there and you only bring back like 10 of the MW2 maps, some people are going to be mad about certain maps not coming back. And if you only bring like 5 of them and then you do like, 5 old and then like 10 new maps, people would be mad too because they're like, where's all the 16? I've seen the tweets already of people saying, oh, it's just the old maps, like where's the new maps or new content? But it's like people have asked for an MW2 09 remastered for a very long time.
Very long.
Right, a very long time. And you get all 16 launch maps in one package on one game to play from day one, which I think is the best case of what they could have done with this. Right? Whether I see some people say, oh, it's just the 16 maps, it could have been DLCs for last year's game. There's no way Activision would add 16 maps like that for free.
Yeah, no, they would have
Right? Like,
definitely like I
no
made that tweet
chance.
about it and then somebody went through and was like they used to charge $30 per DLC. This would end up being a $90 game back in the day. They actually charged 15. So if you do the old map model of how much they charge per map pack and you put that into these 6 MW2 remastered maps, you get $70. I'm not saying and trying to defend them. I'm just saying that you guys are absolutely insane if you think Activision ever would have given you 16 MW2 remastered maps without charging you $70.
Yeah. This was never gonna be free.
No.
It never was. But this, and the other thing too is like they never said once last year that these old maps would be in Modern Warfare 2. Like not one comment do I have. I looked through all my notes from events last year. Not once did they ever say that the old MW2 maps would return in last
No.
year's game.
I think a lot of people have the issue though, and I think that I bought into the hype, which everyone that's listening to this knows I do that a lot. I'm sorry. Whenever they were showing us our first like footage of MW2 and it was like the same period of time we're in right now with the reveal and they did the pass by over, you know what I'm talking about? And you could see high rise and you could see those other maps. Like they know
That
what
was
they
from
were
Al
doing.
Mazrah. That
Yes,
was from Al Mazrah.
I
That's the
know, but
problem.
they knew
The
what they were
Warzone map.
doing. They were nostalgia baiting us and making it us think that there was a possibility that high rise would be back type shit. I think that's what people more so have an issue with, rather than, saying that they lied. They didn't bring. No, they never said they'd bring them back. I just think that people felt kind of slighted when you have to sit there and look at Quarry, and you have to look at High Rise, and you have to look at Afghan, all on the Warzone map and not being brought to us. But I agree with them. I'd rather have those maps fully remastered than just thrown in.
Yeah. And so it's all 16 and then 12 more post launch. And then this will also be the very first time we can play the original 2009 maps on Kill Confirmed and Hardpoint,
Mm-hmm.
because those weren't modes back then. And then they also announced a new mode called Cutthroat, which
Oh
is
yeah.
3v3v3. And they said that 3v3v3, it will be played on the 6v6 maps. So it's played on the 6v6 maps. And then they also said that this 3v3v3 would be elimination based.
Round-based
So
elimination
round based,
style.
it's like, I guess, like similar to S&D, but rather than objective, it's more so like TDM style elimination based, whichever team survives. Um, so I'm very interested to see sort of how 3v3v3 plays on these maps, because technically we have 12 players on the map, but this will be 9 players on the same map. Whether it feels slow paced or whether it's fast paced and stuff. But that's a new mode for the game. And then for people who like the large map experience, there are 3 maps for Ground War and Invasion. So I didn't know they confirmed Invasion, but this fact sheet I was sent by their PR says Ground War and Invasion. Um, and
They,
those 3 maps are called Resort, Military Base, and Industrial Belt. Want to say something there?
no, no.
Okay. Those are the 3 maps. So those 3 maps will be on Ground War and then Invasion. And then there's another map called Launch Facility, which will be from War mode. And for those of you who played not Modern Warfare, World War
Uh,
II 2017, it's the same War mode from there. They said they have made some sort of evolution and updates to it. They didn't say specifics, but they said there were some updates that would be there. We didn't get to see War or play War. Just say that out there. Before people ask questions about how it plays, we did not play War mode, so we don't know what it was like. Um, but there's only one War mode at one War map at launch, and they did say that there's potential for more in post launch for War. But so that's the core maps. So 16 6v6 maps, then 3 ground war maps, and then 1 war map at launch. I saw a question about, is there gunfight coming back? Nothing about gunfight was mentioned at this event. So we don't know. That might be confirmed closer to launch or whatever, but there was nothing to do with gunfight. The one thing I wanted to just say about the maps, the core 6v6 maps, during the presentation, they played this video that had, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong here, Doug, it had Invasion, Karachi, Scrapyard, Rust, and Skid Row,
I think it
I
was the
think.
5 we played, bro. I didn't. They might have
No, it
shown
was it was
Rust.
no, there was they showed Rust, and then I don't think we played that, but then they had those 5 and those maps, and they looked incredible
Yeah,
in that video. Like, I gotta say, those maps looked absolutely insane in that video of the remasters, like similar to what you played and what you know from the old 2009 games, but the maps, they looked like phenomenal. They look better than any of the previous remastered versions. They look better than the Al Mazrah version, whatever of the sum. They look incredible in that
let's
video we saw.
let's set the scene for our audience and listeners right now, right? Okay, so every single creator that myself and CharlieIntel spoke to when we went to this event, we all went with zero expectations. We got burned bad with this last Call of Duty with Modern Warfare 2. A lot of us lost trust with our communities because they felt we overhyped games, etc., etc. We all went in with zero expectations. I myself, and I'm positive Charlie, also knew, we already knew about these 16 MW2 remastered maps. We knew. And I didn't think they were going to be able to pull me in with that. But then they showed the video, and I was, bro, nostalgia bait got me instantly with how good those maps look, man. Like, it was like your childhood had just been completely reinvented and brought back to me. It gave me chills. It honestly brought tears to my eyes, which
That video was
it was
incredible.
gorgeous. And it was only like a quick flyby of them, but just off of that 30-second like little look we got at all these maps, man. And I'm gonna be, so you guys, all of you that have our notifications on for CharlieIntel and Modern Warzone, you're gonna see me complain a lot this year. What the thing you mainly will see me complain about is that all MW2 maps are not as good as a lot of these nostalgia baiters are trying to make you believe. There's a lot of them that are just not as good as you're going to remember them. I will tell you though, Sledgehammer Games did a fantastic job remastering them. They look gorgeous. And one of the things that they said when it comes to remasters, because everybody has the same question, right? What was the map that they added to MW19 that they changed a couple of spots from? Like there was a dumpster spot. It wasn't Strike. I forget the name of it. Anyways, they changed a certain sight line on that map, and it almost completely ruined the map to most people. But they basically are saying that core 6v6 maps have all been remodernized, and I put this in quotes, faithful to the original gameplay. And I think that they said that they didn't want to change anything that they didn't have to change, but that with the new ways the games function, new movement mechanics, new et cetera, some of those things had to change or else the map just wouldn't work right. So they wanted to keep the maps as faithful as possible to what they originally were, which is a good thing, right?
It is a good thing. Um, People asking doors or no doors cannot answer that. Sorry, because that's gameplay. Cannot answer if there's doors or not. So you'll have to go find out in the beta or after MP reveal. Um, okay, so that's maps. I think I covered all the stuff on maps. Now let's talk about. I know we want to get to movement, but before movement, I just wanted to talk about where I found it here. Oh, here. So loadouts. So as you guys have seen in the rumors and all that stuff with loadouts, so create a class is obviously there, but perks are sort of categorized in gear, is what they said. So like you'll have those be tactical vests, there'll be gloves, there'll be boots, and other options that you can select from when you play. You know, the gear is the perk system. It was really funny because someone asked like, "Where's the perks?" It's the gear is the perk system. Perks, these gears activate from the start of the match, right? So it's not time gated like whatever was in last year's game. It's not time gated. There's no ultimate stuff, nothing like that. It's all that you pick are there immediately to use in game from the start. And the gunsmith itself also has something new that they're calling aftermarket parts. Now, the image they showed us of aftermarket parts was basically like you're adding on 3D printed parts to your weapons,
Yep.
which if you guys watch the reveal trailer, you'll see that the ghost gun that the whatever the guy in the hijack the airplane makes, it's like that, like 3D printed attachments was an example they showed. I don't think they're all 3D printed. I thought attachments was an example they showed. It's a special set of customization options for your playstyle. And they one thing they said was that they're going to release new aftermarket parts weekly.
They said that?
They said there'll be a new set on launch, and then they're going to launch them weekly for weapons, which is going to be insane. And they said that it will be all unlocked through challenges. So it says in the blog too, challenges to unlock. They said it'll be all unlocked through challenges. So it's not you to buy a bundle or whatever to get it. It's all through challenges, and they're going to offer them as fast as possible, and then potentially they said weekly, which is sounds very interesting. The COD blog today didn't go in depth on this feature; it just says more information soon. And neither the fact sheet, but they had an image in the briefing presentation. It looked like a 3D printed attachment, and I'd say that it looked really cool. And they're saying that it's sort of a new way to level up and customize your guns in there. So that's loadouts. That's all we can really talk about loadouts. I think we confirmed, that there is the silent movement perk. They said it's it's called some sneaker, is what the blog says. Um,
There's a bit more we could talk about with loadouts, but I guess it has to do with equipment and all the other things they
the equipment
specifically
stuff, yeah.
listed. I mean, I can go through that real quick if you want.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
So with the loadouts, you're still going to have equipment. Not all, something they mentioned is that not every tactical and not every lethal from MW2 will be coming to this game. So that's something to keep in mind. But some of the new equipment that they listed, I'm probably missing some of these. So if your notes have more than mine, I completely missed the part in my notes where they said they're going to add those 3D printed things weekly. That's crazy. Breach drone, throw explosives equipped drone based on where you're aiming and will follow the course to the direction and explode. A new score streak mosquito drone, and they described it as a score streak. So you know what that means. I'm not going to say anything else about that. A mosquito drone, a new field upgrade ACS. This was super interesting and had a lot of us talking. It is a field upgrade that you can toss onto a point and will capture the point for you. It will capture the point for you. Like you're playing domination, you just throw this thing on the fucking point, it captures the point for you. And on top of being able to capture the point, it can, if you stand on the point with this ACS, it's going to double the capture speed as if two people are standing on it. And on top of that, the ACS can also hack enemy equipment if there's no point for it to take.
That's yeah, that's only if you're playing in a non-objective mode. So
Yep.
the hacking the enemy stuff is only if you're not. So for TDM or non-objective stuffs, it has a separate feature. It's not like you can't use it in non-objective modes. It has a feature for objective, and it has a feature for
Okay, okay, cool.
domination.
That's an
Yeah.
important clarification. So it's not completely
Yeah.
broken. It still
Yeah.
sounds strong as shit for objective based game modes. And then the other thing they told us about was a comm scrambler upgrade will give your whole team ghost in an area. That was the last part I had for equipment. I probably missed some though. They were going pretty fast
That's
through
all
those
I got.
sections.
Yeah, that's all I have for that. Yeah. So
So this
that's
stupid
loadout.
shit is gonna plant the bomb in S&D for me? No, they only described it as capturing points.
They didn't say it. S&D. Yeah, they didn't talk about. They didn't talk about if it works in search and destroy. If it does, that's insane.
That'd be so
But
fucking dumb.
yeah, that's insane. So that's loadouts. It is different, is all we'll say. You'll probably see more whenever they decide to reveal multiplayer. Um, but it is a different sort of loadout system. But I think it's a good step forward for Call of Duty in what they're doing and how they're sort of positioning it.
And then
So more info to come.
before we move on,
Mhm.
just one last, like I said, I'm trying to get everything that we got that people at home may not have gotten. So another thing in my notes that they listed, whenever they mentioned that all the perks are now itemized and inspired by real world equipment, they gave us a couple of examples. One of them was that your signal jammer will delay enemy explosives. One of them is also that there is now a detector they're adding to the game that will be able to detect when enemy lasers are aiming at you. So now there's almost like a decision. Do you want to run a laser and maybe give your position away, not only visually, but somebody has an alert that goes off, like high alert, that lets them know when a laser's pointed at them? You know, it seems like they've added a lot of different ways for players to have agency over their own self, and they've added a lot of pros and cons to the decisions you make within the loadout system. But other than that, I don't have anything else from this section.
Okay, so that's loadouts. So the other thing is, well, I guess we can go to movement. So let's talk about movement. I think the
Ooh-wee.
first thing to mention is tax stance. So tax stance is a new way to sort of ADS, I guess you can call it, not necessarily like full ADS. It's how I sort of got understood it is it's in between full ADS and hip fire. So it's like you're sort of like a gun is so a little bit tilted. If you want to know what it looks like, look at the favela screenshot that they released today morning. The player standing in the center, that's like sort of leaned over a little bit, is sort of what it's like. Um, and sort of the new movement system, how they described it exactly, is that the operator unshoulders the weapon and holds it in a firing position. You can toggle in this mode, so you can toggle in and out of this. And one of the cool things is that you can fire in this position while you're sliding.
Yep.
You can fire in this while sliding. So it's a best way to describe this is like in between ADS and hip fire. It's just like a halfway point between the two. I think you just have to play it to fully understand it. It's hard to describe it. They have to be able to show it, but that's from the overall tax stance. And now,
So the thing for me with
uh,
tax stance is I think it gives a good bit of info just based on the way they describe it. Dynamically enter and exit a stance that trades accuracy for mobility. They did mention that it'll increase our strafe speeds, it'll increase our ADS speeds, but like you mentioned, we're not actually going to be ADSing because like my notes also say tax stance is between ADS and hipfire, and we already have an example of what's between ADS and hipfire, ladies and gentlemen. If you played the event today and you played the MW3 reveal event and you picked up a gas canister, it puts you in third person mode. It specifically says right here, dramatically increases ADS move speed but introduces spread. In Call of Duty, when they talk about spread, they're talking about your crosshairs when you hip fire. That is your spread. So to me, it sounds like it's right in between there, and it's almost like a third person aiming system without using third person camera perspective. That's what I'm getting from it. But that's just how it seems to me. People in chat are saying Bloom. There was no mention of Bloom, and I think they learned their lesson about that in Vanguard. A big thing that we're learning from all of this is that Sledgehammer learned a lot from Vanguard. I don't think that they would ever go back to Bloom.
so then overall movement, the way to best describe it well, how they said it. You can cancel everything. Is how it's described. You can actually cancel everything. So you can cancel, slide cancel is back. You can reload cancel. There is a faster mantling and faster mantle while sprinting. You can fire during and immediately after sliding, you can fire. Your attack sprint recharges while sprinting. Your attack sprint duration is increased. They also said that there is an ADS while sliding perk gear you can pick from. There's also the ability to increase strafe speeds and ADS movement speeds through perks. Um, and so, this movement is what everyone's been asking for since Warzone 2 was first introduced. It has everything. They mentioned grenade canceling, which, anything you want to cancel, you can cancel in this game. It's supposed to, they called it a responsive movement system. And, I can't, like, I don't know how to, like, say it without, like,
Without,
talking about
yeah.
the
Well,
fact that we
they said it
played it.
themselves. They said it themselves. They said it's an all new system, and the guy that was describing it said it feels amazing to their entire internal team.
Yeah, it feels amazing.
That's what he said, not
Everyone keeps
us.
yeah, that's what they said. That's their words, not mine. Um, People have been asking over and over again about bunny hopping. Cannot answer that because I think that's cannot answer that.
Yeah, we can't answer that one, Chip.
Yeah, I can't talk about bunny hopping. Sorry, I've seen a lot of questions on Twitter and in your chat. We can't answer anything bunny hopping.
Yeah.
But I mean, this movement system like undoes everything that people hated of last year. Everything that people hated about Warzone 2, about Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2, you felt like a clunky player that you were dragging yourself around the map. This feels, this sounds like it will feel amazing and much better than what we've experienced. And so it's a good thing. I'll say the movement from what it sounds like.
Yeah, the movement sounds
I can't,
amazing. It sounds very free.
yeah, it sounds very freeing when you play. It sounds like you'll have a lot of. I can't say anything else without. I can't. I don't know what else to say over there
I
without
don't
giving
know.
away
I don't.
impressions.
Yeah, I
So
don't know how to say it either.
I'll
Let's
stop
just.
there by the
They
movement.
described it themselves
Yeah,
as amazing. Just know that.
yeah, yeah. We'll stop there. So that's movement, and then classic gameplay. Map voting is back, which I cannot believe it ever left,
I can't
but
either,
it's back.
especially
Map
since they
voting is
brought it
there.
back with Cold War and everybody loved it.
Map voting is back. They also confirmed that classic mini map is back. So unsuppressed weapon fire will show up on the mini map. That should have never been removed.
Can we say the way that they presented that, because they presented it much
Go
differently than
ahead.
how you just said it. So whenever they got to the
Yeah.
multiplayer section of the presentation, it basically was they showed us one slide, and this slide only had 3 bullet points on it, right? I think the top bullet point said classic minimap. The middle bullet point said something. I think the middle bullet point confirmed
Map
ninja.
voting,
Oh yeah, map voting was the second one. The third one was the
the
16.
ninja perk.
Yeah, the ninja perk was the third one. They basically showed us that slide, and then the whole room of 50 content creators, all of us just, it was like a mic drop moment. Like the guy who was presenting it basically said, he said, "We've seen what you guys say about wanting classic mini maps and red dots on the mini map," and he just like said, "We agree." That shit was crazy, bro. The way you had to be there, it's really hard to describe the tone that they used, but it was basically like Sledgehammer has been waiting all year to fix this shit, is what it seemed like.
I mean, we all have been waiting for a whole year for this shit to be fixed. I mean, like, I see people saying like they're advertising features that should have never been removed as new features. Like, they should have never been removed, but there was no way Infinity Ward was going to add them. Like, we've talked, we've had this conversation with developers for 11 months and they just didn't want to add them. So we had to move on to a different sort of lead studio to get these features back, which is absolutely insane, but that's where we are. Um, we talked about this earlier. Perks are all available at the start of the match. The covert sneaker perk allows for silent movement. That's not what I'm gonna stop there because I don't think that's what we remember it being called. And then
No.
that's I don't know what the heck covert sneakers are, but okay. And then the core multiplayer health, which is also super important, is now 150. The base health is 150, which increases the time to kill, which is a good thing, right? I think a lot of people have been saying that Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 has really super fast TTK, and in Warzone 2 they added plus 50 health back in June with season 4, but that did not carry over to multiplayer, which sucks, right? And so we didn't have it in multiplayer, but now we have that in multiplayer. So plus 50 health in multiplayer, and I think that's good for the TTK. Also, they confirmed straight up that there's no like tier one bullshit. It's just straight hardcore. For people who want the hardcore mode, it's just hardcore mode is returning like normal.
And
No whatever the
that's
heck
at
they
launch,
tried
right?
last year.
People in my chat have said that
Yeah,
that it's at launch. Yeah, we found that out during
yeah,
our QA session, I believe.
yeah. There is normal hardcore, which is you know yeah, it should always be there. But the gameplay changes sound really good. Um, they sound very good.
Yeah, they
I
sound
don't know what else
great.
to add.
Every single gameplay change so far sounds pretty good, and it seems to me like they're underselling a lot of them, which is kind of crazy to say, but it seems to me like they're kind of not trying to say, "Oh my God, we've revolution." Like they're saying, "Okay, we've added this new tax stance thing. We're gonna see how y'all like it." But my impression is in the way that Sledgehammer is conducting themselves, they seem pretty damn proud of what they've done to this game.
They should be.
Yeah, they should be.
They absolutely should be. I know everyone says we should stop hyping things up, but this is
People have to remember
this was
is that this
something.
is a key difference, right? And one of the things that I issued my apology after the whole season 3 debacle this past year. But one of the main things that we took away from that was to never give our actual opinions on things until we get to play it ourselves. Me and you have gotten to play it ourselves. Our opinion is our opinion. We may not be able to publicly share it. Trust me, guys. When every single content creator I spoke to at this event did not want to come out of this event wanting to hype this game. Like, it kind of just happened. Like, we went into the presentation, we left the
I can't
presentation.
emphasize this enough. Like, we had no expectations. I need people to understand that, like, people at this event were just like,
We were all
when the event
negative.
started, yeah, we were all just like, oh, here we go, another Modern Warfare game. What's gonna happen or
Yep.
what's gonna be removed this time? And everybody left that briefing presentation like, holy shit, Sledgehammer Games listened. Right? Like, we don't have to deal with whatever the hell we deal with the last 12 months. Hopefully for a very long time again. But like, it was a very positive attitude after the briefing presentation.
And there's still
And
more to
that was a
come.
good thing.
There's still more to come. Like, there's a ton of people in chat asking about prestige systems. They didn't say anything about that. There's lots they didn't talk about. Like, everybody's asking about bunny hopping. We can't talk about bunny hopping. There's nothing to say there. Um,
See,
People asking about SBMM, they will never talk about SBMM to us, guys. Just drop it.
yeah, no one really asked about that. I think everyone's known not to ask about that because there's nothing really to say. Um,
Detailed
and then
weapon
I saw
stats is what somebody's asking. Um,
was it
I
they didn't answer the question in QA. They just said they
we
look at it.
asked it. Yeah, we asked a question about it, and we got like a mid answer. It didn't go either one way or the other. What I would say is, it
Yeah,
seems like they want to do it. Will they be able to do it? We don't know.
I don't. I saw this question multiple times. The campaign gameplay they showed us was PC gameplay with an Xbox controller. That does not mean anything, by the way.
Oh
Before people
yeah,
say shit, Xbox it doesn't mean anything. Does not mean anything at all because PlayStation already has PlayStation has the oh my god, has the beta early still because Microsoft doesn't own Activision yet. But it was PC gameplay with an Xbox controller. I thought it was PS5 at first, but then it was like RB or something, whatever. So it's different. Um, and then I don't know what I can say. I'll just say we played on console. Some people play on console. Some people play on PC. It's not giving away impressions. I hope not.
in chat, you
But
guys,
it was a mix. It was not like everyone played PC.
people asking about mouse input and on MW3 and stuff. Most people there were probably, and we can't talk about gameplay impressions. If you want to ask about mouse stuff, I would ask one of the mouse and keyboard mains who was there, and Huskers was there. And everyone here knows that Huskers is all about, improving how Call of Duty feels on a mouse. So I think he's who you should go ask questions about when it comes to that.
Whoever asked, yeah, it was PS5 or PC gameplay. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna
And
go any
that
further than
whole
that.
debate's going to come out again, whether this was alpha, pre-alpha, beta. I think they said it was pre-alpha.
Well, no one gives a crap. It doesn't matter. Like, you guys are gonna play the beta, and that's gonna be beta. It doesn't matter what build we played. It
True.
won't be the same that you guys play anyways. They already told us it was like so many elements were out of date and stuff, so it's not gonna be what we played, what you guys play. So whatever state the gameplay we played in is not what you guys are gonna play.
I
Is
think
Ninja a perk? Yeah, Ninja is a perk.
I think something important to share with everyone who's listening to this and everyone who is invested in the Call of Duty franchise. You know, I've been doing this for only about 3 years. Charlie's been doing it for 10 plus now. So we have a bit of perspective. He has way more than me. This was the first in person event I have ever been to where we had a legitimate QA session. The previous one, when I went to play DMZ, I think it was at Infinity Ward Studios, we got to speak with some PR people, right? We got to ask them certain questions that are naturally going through public relations, so we're not going to get full answers. This time we got a full hour-long Q&A session with multiple microphones being passed around to content. I got to ask 6 questions. We also got to give our feedback at a dinner afterwards to people who actually work on these games. Now, a lot of what happened during this trip won't ever come out to public knowledge. Just know that they were very, very interested in our feedback, and they were taking it to heart and even giving us examples of where they think some of those feedback opinions we gave may end up in the game that you guys get to play during beta. Basically what I'm
I
getting
think
off is that Sledgehammer Games is showing that they give a shit and they are listening. And I said the same thing with
one thing that
Vanguard, but this is different.
well, this is different. I think one thing that's super important too in this whole with Sledgehammer Games and what we saw at this event compared to what we've seen at past events was when when Sledgehammer Games was giving the presentation to us. The I think the big thing was like the difference from what we've had this year compared to what we've had in the past was when Sledgehammer Games studio head opened the presentation, one of the first things that he kept talking about was like this game is about like honoring the players, honoring the
Yep.
player combat, respecting the players, respecting what the community wants. And it was like a different feeling because when we were at Infinity Ward last year, it was just exclusively about this is our principle, this is our gameplay design decisions, this is what we want, this is what we, and it was like this year was like a full 180. It was like this is what the community wants. This is us honoring the player feedback, honoring the player sort of movement systems, honoring the combat and everything. And that like was the start of the presentation, which like set the tone for the whole thing. But when they said that, it was a very different vibe after because it was like not about themselves and their own studios and what they want. They were like, this is the game that we want to play as much as you guys want to play, which never was told said last year. I
Yeah.
will say that it was never heard that once last year at any MW2 events. It was all about what the player wants and what the players sort of want to experience, which is good.
Yeah, and it's part of their. I think that this is just like the 20th anniversary of COD thing. Like they really want to, like they did mention that throughout the thing. There's always a theme of these presentations, but I can't. It's impossible for me to quantify for you guys why I'm saying this time is different. But when you get to speak to the people that actually make the games and you get to talk to these guys privately, you kind of get a different feel than you get off of just bitching on social media or talking to content creators or even going to PR people or going to blog. Like you get a much different feel, and you also get to talk to people who actually make shit happen, man. I think that's why it feels different to me. You could tell these people were listening, and also I feel like it was probably Sledgehammer's choice to give as much. It was like open door access to the most important developers at this event. After we played, we pretty much got to speak to them when we wanted to and how we wanted to for the rest of that night. And I think that that was very important in building trust with us.
Yeah, it was a much better vibes at this event that we had. I mean, it just goes to show this the Sledgehammer Games is in this spaces too. They've been in a lot of our spaces, but yes, they're always listening, and it's a much different feeling coming out of this game compared to what well not this game, sorry, coming out of this event compared to the events that we attended last year. Um and so it was I think a lot better. Do we get do we get YY back? You can cancel everything. I don't know if that's included, but you can cancel everything. Is what they said. Can't talk about guns.
There's
Am I
no info
able
about
to
ranked yet.
yeah, no, nothing about ranked. No info about ranked. I'm reading through all the questions. It says it's 333 tweets. That's a lot. I'm trying to read through all of them right now. Um, what is the take on footsteps or dead silence? Dead silence is not. That well, the perk is back. That's what I'll say.
You guys are
There's no
asking.
new maps at launch.
Yeah, keep going.
Go ahead.
Keep going.
No, there's. I'm trying to ignore the gameplay ones. There's no new maps at launch. It's the 16 MW2 2009 maps on day one. When is the beta? The beta dates have not been announced officially. There was a leak about that a while back that it'll be in October. But we'll see about those. Will there be 9v9 ground war? I don't know if we can talk about this, but in the Q&A that was asked, and they're aware of feedback about having like 9v9 and 10v10 or whatever in the OG 2009 maps. Um, and so we'll see what they end up with that. But they heard the feedback on that, and they were aware that people want that.
Gunfight at launch? Question mark. We don't know. Will zombies be free to
We don't
play?
know.
We do not. Actually, this was described as a part of
It's
Modern Warfare 3, so I would assume it's paid.
Yeah, it's paid. It was I got to confirm. It is paid.
Okay.
It is a paid. You have to buy the game to get zombies. The three modes they revealed today are all paid. There is no Warzone talk today, or what free to play experience talk today.
Will slide canceling
Yeah,
reset tax sprint? No confirmation yet. You guys are good at asking
yeah,
questions that might get us to answer things we're not supposed to say. Good job.
yeah. Are these movements added to Warzone 2? Well, first of all, it's called Warzone. It's not Warzone 2 anymore. But I did tweet out that the movement will carry over. When you integrate it, it integrates all the systems.
Oh, you did?
Um,
You tweeted that?
that's weird. I don't know how I don't know where it was said, and I couldn't remember, so I just said it's in Warzone. I don't know if
Ooh.
no one. I haven't gotten a message from PR yet, so I think I'm safe for now.
Yeah, I
If I
don't
get yelled
think
at, I'll delete it.
I don't think
But
they directly confirmed that anywhere, but shit. I'd be happy.
well, shit. No one. If I haven't gotten yelled at in my DMs yet, so I think we're fine. Um,
They already
I can't talk
confirmed
about
slide cancel will not reset tax sprint. What are you guys talking about? When did they say that?
oh, it's in. Where did they say that's not in my notes? Let me see the
That's
blog.
not in my notes either. They tweeted.
Where is the? They tweeted it. What tweet? Where's
They
the
did in
movement?
the apparently it's in the
Oh, it
blog.
does. The blog. It says the blog says slide canceling does not reset tactical sprint. Oh,
Holy shit.
is that how I'm gonna stop talking because that's gonna be gameplay?
I mean, you can talk privately about it, but
Yeah, we'll
yeah,
talk
that
after because I don't.
yeah.
Ooh,
There's a reason why I was walking around the room asking everybody if they felt the same shit I felt that day. Yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah. I don't. Yikes. Okay, it's interesting. The blog says that.
That is public
Is
info
there
apparently
doors in
now.
the maps? I don't know.
J God says you're the leaker
Doors.
now.
Charlie is the leaker now. How the tables have turned. I'm not leaking anything. I'm just saying that that blog. I do not remember the blog. Our notes didn't have that, so that's new in the.
J God,
That's new.
I guarantee you, J God, that between you, Hector, and everybody else that's going to be on Pulse Check tonight, one of you guys is going to leak some shit.
Yeah,
I
that's
already know
not.
you
Yeah,
are.
I mean, all of you guys, every single one of you YouTubers posted your videos with "I played Modern Warfare
I
3." Don't
know.
even, don't you? Yeah, you can't even come at us for that. That's interesting. The blog says that. I had no idea.
I didn't either. I haven't even read the
Um,
blog because I've been live the whole time.
yeah, I didn't read that sentence in the blog. I was trying to get info out of it, but I didn't know it said that. That's interesting. UI, whoever's spamming UI in our tweets and in the kick chat, I can't answer. Um, all I will say is that no, I can't say that. I'm gonna stop there. Um, the,
What
I
is
want to
the
talk about.
topic you're talking about?
UI. I want to talk about it, but we can't talk about it. So, sorry guys. You'll find out about the UI eventually. Um, please, multiplayer gameplay reveal date. I don't know. Hopefully they confirm that soon, but I don't know
When you
the
run through
actual
rooms,
date.
do you run through walls that open and close? That is gameplay, brother. um,
If I play JGod, okay. If I play, you played. I saw that YouTube video of yours.
yeah, your YouTube
Your
video
thumbnail
literally
wasn't as
says
bad
it.
as other people. Your thumbnail wasn't as bad as other people,
I
but
was
damn.
sitting there telling
Um,
my chat as I was playing the event, I was like, I feel like I'm an idiot for not uploading a video, but then again, at the same time, like since we can't talk about what we played, I felt like I would have just been sitting there waffling the whole
I would
time.
have been, yeah, thank God. Let's see. Are you able to say anything about the camo grind? And if it's like we did not see any camos. Sorry. Like that's not even like leaking anything. We did not see any camos at all. So, well, I'm not gonna say that because I'll get him in trouble. But yeah, no camos. Did anyone confirm DMZ?
No.
No talk about DMZ at all. So we'll have to see what they say whenever they announce
There
Warzone
was
information.
so there was one question during the QA period, and the only reason I'm going to talk about it is because the content creator who specifically asked the question already talked about it. Dalek JD asked a question about DMZ. I don't remember the exact wording of his question, but they basically said we're not talking about DMZ right now, and then moved on. So make of that
Yeah,
what you
that was
will.
it. Take that as you will. Um, let's see. What about anti-cheat improvements? The blog yesterday said there was going to be new updates to it, but they didn't talk about Ricochet anti-cheat at this event to us. I don't think anybody asked either. And people asking like, how did the anti-cheat feel? Guys, we can't feel. We're playing in a closed environment with select group of people, and on we can't. How does the anti-cheat feel? That's the funniest question I think I've seen in this.
People also need to realize that when we're at these play sessions and shit, we have a very limited amount of time to ask questions. So we typically make sure we focus on the most important shit first. You know, like for instance, during that little QA period, I don't think a proper use of time would be to raise my hand and be like, "Hey, what's different about the UI this year?" You know, like sure that's important to some people, but it's not really directly related to the gameplay. And we're always told to keep our questions related to what we just played or were presented.
Is the beta first on PlayStation? Yes. The beta is first on PlayStation. I don't PlayStation gets the beta first. And then if you buy the Vault edition on PlayStation, you get 55 tier skips for season one. Other platforms only get 50 tier skips. That's PlayStation benefits that they have revealed so far for now. Um, if Sledgehammer Games are reading this, bring back connection-based matchmaking. Oh, there you go, Sledgehammer Games. We can't talk about. Is there any info on Warzone? No info about Warzone. Um, there's hopefully info about Warzone in the weeks to come. Um, how did you feel about the lighting? The lighting in the gameplay campaign missions we saw looked fine.
Just
They
look at the
were both night
screenshots.
missions.
Look at the screenshots from today. Those are all in
Yeah.
engine. Those are all in engine gameplay pictures. Or I can't say that. A lot of them are from the game, so that's what it's going to look like. The lighting looks better to me, and the way the lighting bounces off water specifically to me looks good. I don't even want to talk about water, but
Yeah. You just went silent somewhere, Doug.
somewhere
Okay. I can hear you now. Let's see. How does the gameplay feel? The gameplay sounds great, guys. The gameplay sounds great. Feeling, I don't know. It sounds great.
gameplay sounds
Uh,
amazing.
it sounds incredible.
The movement sounds absolutely fantastic.
Whoever asked in Kick Chat, will MW3 make Charlie play again? Yes. I actually will play this game because I love the MW209 maps. I will be there day one. That's what everyone's tweeting, right? We will be there day
We
one with
will.
the
No,
Vault
it
Edition
says,
skins.
"Oh yeah, we will be there no matter
With
what."
the
And it's the fucking picture
we
of
will be there no matter
Mbappe.
what. Yeah, with all the Vault Edition skins equipped, we will be there day one.
Buying Black Cell. I'm going to grab a drink real quick.
Okay. How many campaign missions are there? They didn't say how many. The only thing they said was that half were linear and half were open combat. They didn't
Not
say
exactly
anything
half,
about
but
that.
around half.
Yeah, they didn't talk about raids. The co-op mode is Modern Warfare Zombies, so I wouldn't expect Spec Ops or raids or whatever in this. Everyone's asking about DMZ. It's interesting. We have no information about DMZ at all at this point. Any news on guns? I think the only gun I remember when Doug comes back, he can maybe remember other. Only gun I remember from the campaign video was this Scorpion Evo which showed up, and then there was other normal assault rifles or whatever that you've seen. But I think that's the most I'm gonna say about weapons without getting in trouble. So I'll stop there. Have they talked about their Call of Duty League plans yet, Jake? Come on. We don't even know a rank play launch date yet, and you're asking about COD League. Hopefully it'll be there eventually. The COD League plans at some point. Um,
How does it run for you guys? Smooth? Are we allowed to say? Is that a
no.
gameplay impression?
Yes.
Okay, I
Come
was gonna
on
say
now.
I didn't have any crashes. I'll say that. That's
I
really good.
will say that.
That's really good
I
for this
crashed a
stage.
lot of other events. Yeah, I did
Yeah,
not crash
that's what
once.
I
It's really
meant.
fascinating.
That's what I meant. Like I didn't have any crashes at event,
I
which
didn't
was very
crash.
good.
Yeah, I didn't. Um, if we can inspect our weapons in multiplayer, I no idea. Like not even like NDAing that shit. I don't even know. I don't remember that ever. Shipment was hinted at in the Q&A is all I'll say. They didn't confirm anything. It was just like a small hint. Whoever's spamming in our chat, pick 10. There's
Weapon inspect is like a staple now, so
no,
probably yeah. Wink, wink. It's yeah. Wink, wink.
not yeah, what? Yeah, pick 10. Like stop spamming that. We can't talk about the actual loadouts. And if it was pick 10, the blog would have said it very clearly. So let's see that. Also, I saw someone ask, is like any thoughts on Bob Network's tweet or whatever his name is now, El Boberto, about Ghost and how Ghost works. I'll just say don't take that tweet as face value. That's all I'm gonna say about that tweet that he posted earlier. Because I don't know what they have seen. It's not gameplay that we played that they've seen to get that information.
Nope.
Um, I'll just say I wouldn't believe what was said in that tweet because I
Here's
don't know.
the
Does it
main
have ray
thing.
tracing?
As people who used
Mhm.
to, me and Charlie both used to leak. Um, Leakers will get a lot of stuff right, but when they start to get into very, very detailed stuff, like whether or not Ghost is going to work if you're moving or not, they can kind of. It's really easy to get that stuff wrong. So no, this isn't slandering them or anything. Just I would say for anybody listening to this, if you're looking for very fine details on how perks or gunsmith or any of this stuff works, I would just wait until we get official info on that.
Yeah, and then like
I can
I'm gonna
talk
answer
about
this.
this.
I'm
This
probably
is
gonna
a
get
good.
yelled.
You answer yours first because I have a good one after this.
All right. So someone asked me, does the gameplay feel nice between consoles and PC? I think this is impressions, and if I get in trouble for this, I guess, but all I'm gonna say is that the graphics looked incredible overall.
Yeah.
Uh, that's all I'm gonna say. Overall, it looked great on any of the platforms. Does it have ray tracing? Guys, you're spamming that question? I don't know.
And then mine is going to
I,
be so people want to
what was your
know,
question?
are you allowed to talk about visual recoil and gun smoke and stuff? All right. Listen, COD community, I know how important it is to you to be able to see what the fuck you're shooting at. It's extremely annoying to not be able to just hope your aim assist, especially for mouse and keyboard players. I feel sorry for all you guys. You don't even have aim assist to keep tracking a target. That's tough. I will say that in my notes during shit, this is going to sound like a negative impression. During my notes from the campaign, I'm allowed to talk about this because this is from the presentation. I specifically put that the visual recoil is still strong on the 3x attachment. So on one of the weapons they used in the campaign mission they showed us, they were using the 3 times VLK from original Warzone, and there was in my notes I put that there was a lot of visual recoil still.
Yeah, but we don't know if that gun was
If that's
customized
final,
or not.
yeah,
So
or if it's just campaign, or if it's just to make it look that way. That's my notes from this. Um, my shit, dude. Can't talk about anything else, but that was my impressions from the presentation. Now I can say that my impressions from gameplay were different. That's all.
I hope the MP5 isn't meta in this game. Um, I will tell you with certainty, no, because the MP5 meta. How is the MP5 meta in the current game? Let me not
Warzone,
even answer that. I don't know. Okay,
Warzone,
there you
yes.
go. Can you tell us something about the war game mode? It's back on one map, and it's an evolution of the 2017 mode. That's all. I mean, like, not even like lying to you guys. We didn't show us gameplay. We didn't play it, so I can't even say anything else because I don't know anything else about it. Um, Hardcore at launch, probably. I mean, I don't think every Sledgehammer Games title has had hardcore at launch, so this wouldn't be different.
Yeah, J God's right. The
And this,
MP5 isn't in the game.
yeah.
You mean the Lockman?
Okay, J God. Alrighty. Okay, we're not doing this, are we? Oh God.
Oh,
Okay.
speaking of which, somebody asked that.
Um,
We can say that. Somebody asked during our QA if we were going to be getting real gun names, and they basically were like, "Nah." That shit was funny.
it has to, they will never say it, but it has to do with licensing, and
Yeah, for
it's a whole
sure.
other situation. They won't talk about it.
Somebody asked him if
Um,
there's a reason to, and the guy was just like, "Yes," and then put the mic down.
yes, yeah. What else do you say to that? At that point,
Yeah.
um, what are the system requirements for MW3? Don't know if that's announced yet. If whenever it is announced, it'll show up on BattleNet or Steam. Whenever they say that. The community wants round-based. Why no round-based zombies? Wait for Treyarch's game next year, I
Why
guess,
would
is all there is to
Treyarch
say to
put
that.
round based in a game that's not theirs? Come on, guys.
Yeah, I don't really know. Have you everyone keeps asking about Prestige or like the progression system. There was no progression system enabled or shown to us at all. So I can't really explain that or say anything about that. I would hope that they would consider a potential change in progression system, but I don't think they would do that with the time they developed this game in. Um, so we'll have to see what they do there. Um,
Anything on nukes? We
no,
do not know about nukes or Moabs yet.
yeah, no information about that. Um, I hate how this Twitter Spaces like chat box resets me to the top every time. You
Every
can't sort
time.
it by new. You can't
Yep.
sort it by new. So I'm trying to look at like Twitter web to see questions.
If you guys
Will
want to
there be
get
a
a
third
question
person
in,
mode? I don't know. Oh,
if you guys want
go
to get
ahead.
a question in and for sure get it answered, come to the kick stream. Charlie and myself are both reading the kick chat.
I'm
It's
trying
hard
to
to
read
keep up
Twitter
with the
too for
Twitter
all you
one.
guys,
Yeah.
but I don't know how to read Twitter chat. But okay, I got it on TweetDeck. All right, TweetDeck works. When are we getting a face reveal? Um,
His
my
face is out
personal
there.
account exists and it's verified. So go search for it if you want. Um, there was round base and Infinite Warfare zombies because that's because Infinity Ward made it. Um,
Can you answer if specialist
let's
bonus
see.
is back?
They didn't give us an answer to that,
We asked.
so we can't give you an answer. Yeah, they didn't
We
give us a clear
asked.
answer,
We
so
didn't
we
give an
can't give
answer
you an
though.
answer. Yeah, can't answer things we don't know the answer to be honest.
Yep.
Um, any insight on the 3v3v3? We didn't play it, guys. We did not play 3v3v. That's a lot to say, but we didn't play that. Um, so we can't tell you how, even if it was
Could
whatever.
could you please tell us if infected is in this game? I don't know yet, but they did mention that they are planning to add a lot of party modes to this game down the line through the seasons.
Yeah, they did say that. Yeah.
Is aim assist weaker in
Um,
MW3? That is definitely a gameplay impression, dude.
aim assist is going to be overpowered as hell. Yeah. Play on controller only. There you
Yeah,
go.
perhaps, perhaps. Are shotguns
Play.
still primary? Like, dude, we can't answer these questions.
Are shotguns primary weapons? Yeah, guys. The gameplay, it's only shotguns. There's no other guns in this game.
Won't faster
I
movement
got you.
make the MW2 maps feel smaller? Yes. That is a very insightful observation there from you. And that's why whenever they describe how they have to remaster these maps, that sometimes they can't one-to-one it because it just wouldn't work.
No mention of dolphin diving.
Don't do it. Don't get yourself in trouble.
I kind of think it was in the gameplay, like the campaign gameplay. Yeah, all right, we'll stop talking there.
No, nobody dolphin dived in the campaign gameplay.
So dolphin diving is TBD. Did you like the game? Oh well, that's Bob Network. Okay, Bob. Get.
The way they describe the game sounds good.
There you go. Disbanding lobbies. No information on that. I've seen multiple questions about that. No idea about that.
Somebody asked a
Um,
question about it, but you know,
a lot of questions were asked. Were there answers to
yeah.
those things that we can say publicly? That
Who was the best
is
player
something we can't
there?
say.
Noah J. The motherfucker's cracked.
No, Scope was the best player. I can't say why, but Scope was. I can't say why, can I? I'm gonna get in trouble if I say why. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble if I say why Scope was great. Scope was there? Question mark, guys. He uploaded a video.
I have
Come
a
on,
picture with him. You want to see it?
come on, people. He puts it there. The game should have its own map. That's lazy. No. MW2 2009 maps. I'd rather have 16 of those than 10 new maps that might be mediocre. So
Is the Car 98 back? I've been seeing people on Twitter all day say that there's a rumor that the Car 98 is back. I haven't seen that
I
rumor myself.
can't know. Don't know. Don't know where that rumor started from. Is there field upgrades? Yeah, we can say there are field upgrades because they confirmed the ACS field upgrade.
Yep.
Visual recoil, IDK.
Anything on emotes? No, nothing on emotes.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about emotes. Will the game be hacker free? If games could be hacker free, that would be incredible, but that's not how it works.
Somebody in my chat says Swag
Um,
confirmed the ACR. See, if you guys find out that other content creators are confirming things, please tell us because then we can talk about it. But
yeah,
I don't
I don't
know.
know what they
Until I see
confirmed.
that for myself, I don't know.
If Swag said it's there, I guess it's there.
I'm not going to argue about what he says because he also
Yeah.
was there with us. So,
If Swag saw it, he saw it.
yep.
Um, let's see. Uh, any iOS app? I
High
don't know
zoom
what that
optics
means.
back like the VLK and Warzone 1. I can confirm that because one of the sites that we saw in the campaign mission of the Gulag was the VLK. Somebody asked though, because I was saying that the VLK had visual recoil still. I will tell you this. I didn't put it in my notes, but I do remember I saw visual recoil from the site bouncing. I did not see muzzle smoke. Like I could still see, is what I'm saying.
Okay. I don't wanna.
Any
I
leaked
don't wanna.
guns that you can announce? No. Can you play zombie solo? I don't know.
I don't know about Zombies Solo. How does the engine feel? It's the same engine.
That is probably like the worst question you can ask content creators. Most of us don't know what the fuck defines an engine. How's the
Okay,
slide
well,
cancel? Ah,
is open combat in third person view? I don't know what that means. Oh, open combat campaign missions? No, those are first person. Sorry. I
yeah.
was like, open combat. Yeah, those are in first person. Unless there's a third person mode, they didn't show it to us. All the gameplay we had was first person mode for campaign.
Will
Um,
MW2 maps come back in MW3 like Jason said? Jason Schreier.
prior. We'll have to
Ah,
wait and see what they
yeah.
do.
We'll have to wait and see.
Is this game a $70 DLC or a brand new game? The content that's in this game is $70 worth. Whether that's worth it for you is up to you.
If you took away
Um,
the rumors from Jason Schreier, and you took away the fact that this game came out right after MW2, and they started marketing it without calling it MW3, would you pay $70? This has just as much content as any other Call of Duty game you've ever bought.
I mean, like imagine the shit that people would be going nuts if they call this Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remastered.
Exactly. People would be like,
Right?
I'm
Like
definitely not going to pay 60 for that.
yeah,
Exactly.
people would go nuts over that shit too. So it is whatever. Guys, I have no idea about stat tracking. I don't know anything to do with why the API is dead. I don't know if that's ever going to come back. Um, hoping. Let's see, 12 maps. When's the Nicki Minaj bundle releasing? Apparently, yesterday's update actually added her bundle ins, but there's no date yet, so we'll see what happens.
Did they
Um,
add sex to the game? No.
I
I
don't know
get
how
that
that would
question so
even.
often. I get that question every fucking time.
How does the weapon system works and how did they sound? The weapons sound incredible. I mean, we can see it from the multiplayer, the campaign gameplay we saw. The weapons look great. They sounded great.
Yep.
Um, they
Is
look great.
is no Russian playable or a cutscene? They did confirm to us that we are going to get to play that part that we see, like we get to hijack the plane. I believe they called the mission hijack though. I don't think it's called no Russian.
Yeah, I don't. OG prestige system. No idea about weapon progression, about any progression at this point. Um,
Is there a World War
can
II
you?
headquarters type feature? No idea.
No,
Oh well,
that
no.
wasn't there. You can just say no. I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
That's gonna
no.
show up out of nowhere at launch.
Yeah.
um,
Charlie
there
can
was no
also see
mention
the
of
kick
war.
chat. Yes.
Yeah, I can see both. Will Verdansk be in Warzone? No. Um, will raids be included? There's no spec ops in this game, guys. So I don't know if there will be, but we'll have to see what they do. Um, any early gameplay from the campaign? I don't know, guys. We have to see when they decide to reveal gameplay. I don't think any the next announcements have been confirmed yet. What they're doing next has been revealed yet, so I don't think we'll
I've
have to wait and
gotten
see what the next sort of beat is.
I've gotten a lot of questions about if we can talk about how the TTK felt, and I do remember during one section of our QA that somebody asked a question. I know I asked one, but I know that we can't answer the one that I asked. Um, did they ever mention if they wanted the TTK to be a certain way or not? Because my brain remembers them saying they did, but I don't have it in my notes. Do you remember that?
They wanted it to be slower.
Yeah, they said that, right? Like they said that they wanted it to take longer to kill. Because a
That's why
lot
it's
of people,
150 health.
well, a lot of people, so I've even seen people like marksmen, like a lot of people are saying that the actual amount of health the player has does not fucking matter. It really depends on how much damage each bullet does. So they could increase our health by 50, but you could still die in 3 bullets. Basically, what me and Charlie are doing right now is confirming that is not the case. They wanted to raise the TTK. They wanted it to take longer for you to die in this game. On multiplayer, at
Yeah,
least.
exactly. It's like, oh man,
Tell
that
us the questions you asked, but not their response. You can't. They give away too much.
no. But like, I just want to make it clear, people. Like when we talk about this gameplay improvements, right? You have to think about this from the perspective of Sledgehammer Games and what they've done. And it's like, if you have to go into this game like remembering that this is a Sledgehammer Games title and this is theirs, and you're gonna get Sledgehammer Games gameplay elements and feeling and movement and design. And I saw a question like, how would you rate this compared to last year? I'm not gonna answer that like how we rate gameplay, but in terms of like the conversations and the vibes at this event, like 10 out of 10 compared to last year.
Absolutely.
Like 10 out of 10 compared to whatever the heck last year was.
Why did they
So
NDA this stuff when it would bring more hype? Because it's a super early version of the game we played.
yeah, things will be different at launch, and they don't want us to say something and you guys play it and then you guys shit on us because it's not the same.
Like, for example, if we weren't NDA'd last year when me and Charlie went to go play MW2 multiplayer and could basically never talk to you guys about it, we would have came back from that and we would have told you guys that there were red dots on the minimap. And we would have been wrong. They ended up, that was a bug. So there,
Maybe we
that's,
should have said that, right? And we bullied them into making it happen.
yeah, it probably would have happened. Will the good stuff change though?
Um,
Nah, I don't think so, Hope.
no.
I don't think so. They, based on all of our conversations, it seemed like
The good stuff's gonna get better,
the good stuff will get
just based
better,
on the
and they wanted us to
conversation.
talk about the stuff that we didn't like. Like they specifically, at one point, I was talking to one of the big multiplayer guys after dinner, and I was basically I was gassing him up a bit. I was like, "This is cool," and then he was like, "Can you tell me bad things, please? I don't want to hear about what we did well. I want to hear about what we need to do better." And when he said that, my eyes lit up. I was like, "Woohoo! Yes, I'd love to tell you about like the 10 things, etc., etc."
Yeah, they in our feedback session, they took a lot of notes about all the feedback we gave.
Mm-hmm.
And they were, I think one thing that's also important for this year compared to last year was they never said no to anything that we sort of said for feedback wise. I'm not going to give you guys like specifics because that would give things away, but they never said no to feedback points, to things that we asked potential to change. They were always like, yeah, we'll look into it, we'll check it out, we'll see what we can do. I mean, like last year, like you would ask something and it was just like, oh, this is it. And it's like, well,
Yep.
shit.
It basically
But
was like if we gave them
um,
feedback this time, if we had logical reasoning for why we gave that feedback, when we were sitting there talking to them, they would kind of brainstorm about how they could fix what we were talking about, which was awesome. That's awesome to see.
it was a very, better sort of thing. Does the game have campaign have multiple endings? I don't think so. I've seen people
They
ask about
he
that.
said
I
that.
think
They
it's a
answered that.
singular ending.
He answered it
Oh,
in the studio during QA. Somebody asked if there were going to be multiple endings and they said it'll be linear.
yeah. So the ending is the same for everybody. Exclusive Ace was not at this event because he has on a vacation. He tweeted about it. He was invited, but he wasn't there. No logical feedback about disbanding lobbies. Trust me, we gave them feedback about that, but I can't tell you what they said because what they said is what they said.
I don't think I can answer
Um,
Hope's question if you see it on my kick chat. I'm pretty sure I can't answer that.
lost your tick chat. So were any IDUP at and I'm not gonna get into
Yeah, we're not going to get into the
uh,
inter studio stuff. I just
I'm
don't
not
think
gonna
that's a
get
good
into the
idea.
battle between I don't care to explain that. I'm just telling you the vibes this year compared to last year. That's all. Yeah, that's don't answer that. Um, I just saw a question that I lost. Oh no. Did you play? We did not play campaign. I've seen people ask. We did not play the campaign. We saw two missions. So we saw the prison mission, the starting, which they've described as the first half of the first mission, where you come out underwater, you go to the prison, you grapple to the top, go all the way down, and you're to break somebody out of the prison, but they don't show us who. It just cut out as soon as you saw the door opens. And then the second mission they showed us was Crash Site, which is an open combat mission where you sort of explore the game. You explore this crash site and you have to stop or gather intel on what the Coney group is doing with the false flag operation of the plane being downed. Um,
What characters
is
were they
one of
playing
the
as in the missions? And the one that he's talking about, you play. Do you remember who you play as? It's somebody from
crash site
Task
was
Force 141.
crash site was Price?
Price? I think it was Price as well.
This Price with Laswell talking to him, right?
Yep.
In the
Yeah.
air,
Yeah.
I think. That's what it was. The first mission you play as the enemy faction, the Coney group. Yeah, you play as enemies. You don't play as.
Chat. We didn't get to
The
ask about shadow bans. Like there
Can
was.
you buy separate bundle items? I don't understand what that question means. Um, for PC, anything about specs 120, it's 120 hertz is what they notice, or is what the games are anyways these days, aren't they? Unless I'm wrong.
No, they are, except for Starfield's gonna be 30.
Okay. And then is the health like Cold War? I don't want to make a comparison to a Black Ops game. I think this health is different, and you'll see when you play it. Does this game wrap up the story?
You said earlier that they
I
meant
don't-
for this to be a trilogy, but I don't remember that in my notes, so I don't know if it
yeah,
wraps it up.
I'll text you after how I know that. Um, can you buy one item in a bundle? No. You have to buy the bundle. Call of Duty's new Twitter post confirms more. I don't, guys. The Call of Duty, the blog had different info, some of it than what we
Yeah.
had, and 16 iconic maps. Their Twitter thread they did had some interesting tidbits. I know people were talking about,
It's
but
the score streak toggle
um,
from MW2 back in
don't
MW3.
understand.
I don't think I can directly answer that, but I do know that in my notes there is a thing that mentions the mosquito drone score streak. They said score streak on the slide or out loud. Now, keep in mind, sometimes these guys can misspeak when because they're just as excited as we are. So I don't know. I can't say based on what I played. I can just tell you based on my notes that in my notes I did write the word score streak.
Yeah, they did call it a score streak. Um, people have been DMing me, and also I saw some in the spaces that ask guys, we have nothing to do with gameplay like pricing or whatever. I don't know why certain regions the game is much more expensive than other regions. I don't know the answer to that. And in the blog post they brought up player rank and prestige XP. We saw nothing related to progression system. Um, we saw absolutely nothing related to progression system, so we don't know about it. Are blueprints transferring over? Yes. Will there be screen medals? Can't answer.
Did anyone bring
Theater
up
mode?
theater mode? Yes, right away did.
Answer no. There you go.
That was a quick one. That was like one of the first questions.
Yeah, answer no. Um, oh, Hunter's in the Twitter Spaces. Yeah, there's your answer, Hunter. There
He's
you go.
about to go tweet about it.
I know
Repeat.
he will. Okay, there's now 600 questions in Twitter, and I'm trying to catch up on this. Um, I'll wait till a month after. Okay, you can do that. Are you able to say anything about the camo grind? Yeah, we never saw camos, unfortunately. Sorry. Did they speak on adding any original Modern Warfare 3 maps to this game? It's an interesting question. The blog says 12 new or whatever maps. Um, but I think they did hint at like not all 12 might be new, that it might be like a mixture. But there is over 12 post launch, so we'll see what they add. Um, but
Is
they did hit the event that it might not be that.
is
Go
weapon
ahead.
tuning still a thing? I hope not. We don't know. We can't say.
Yeah, we don't really know. One thing I will say about completely different, it's not even close to related to your tweet, what you just said. But Sledgehammer Games' new like multiplayer play area we played in was sick.
J
That
God
that
confirmed
their
weapon tuning. That
sisters
shit
was.
was awesome.
J God confirmed J God. Now who
J
are you
God,
calling
you're
a leaker?
yeah. J God's
J
in here.
God.
J God, did you actually do
J
that?
God.
God dang it,
Oh
J God.
no.
You and your damn views, man.
Oh God. Now who's the
I
leaker?
feel like I need to go through and like watch every single content creator's video to see who leaked what to know what we're allowed to talk about.
Well, sniper's one shot to the head. It'll take a whole magazine to kill one person.
Yep. Confirm what? Somebody in chat says that you said that weapon tuning is back.
Mhm. Just silence from him.
Yeah, just silence. If he
All right,
didn't, then
good.
we're not confirming it either. We don't know. We're just reading
I'm not
chat.
saying anything.
Yeah,
I
no, we're
didn't.
just reading the chat. In the video, he says
I'm
it.
just reading. Shadow Company. Shadow Company is there. Yeah, I guess. No, the Coney group.
In
Well,
Swag's video
Sledgehammer.
in his vlog, you could see a little of the menu in MW3, but it's very little and hard to see. Now, I don't see how that's possible because we weren't supposed to
They
have any
said no cameras
no
or phones in
camera
that
in that
area.
area. Like I even had somebody come up and talk to me because my phone was sitting face down on the desk.
If there's any, well, there is Activision people in this spaces. You guys want to go check Swag's video? Um, 'Cause that's funny. If he actually did that. Um,
Hope wants to know, did they talk about being confident about weapon balancing all these weapons from both MW2, MW3 in regards to the 150
yeah,
health?
they're
They're
confident.
confident. I asked a question specifically about the weapon balancing that I will be able to reference later. Definitely can't reference right now, but yeah, they definitely are being conscious of how they balance everything with the increased health.
Did they talk about integration of Warzone at all?
No.
They didn't talk about Warzone, but I guess I leaked something that I shouldn't have. But
Uh
okay.
J God says he doesn't confirm it. J God says I said it sounded like they were just copying that part since they are doing the same thing plus the weapon mod aftermarket thing. Makes sense. So no
Okay.
confirmations here. People are just saying there's a lot of easy speculation we can do after we go to these events. That's all J God did there.
Mm. If every COD game is part of the COD HQ application, won't the games be 500 plus gigabytes? Well, the good thing is you can go into the manage files and delete the modes you don't want to play.
I had to explain this on
So
stream to other people. They were like, "Well, you don't want this to be that." No, this is literally what we've been asking for. Everything will be underneath one app. You have to have COD HQ installed, but underneath that, you could just have Warzone installed by itself and not have MW2 installed type shit. As I think what they're trying to do.
um, in Swag's video, there are computer screens that look like gameplay running on it.
I highly doubt that any part of his vlog contains the room that we played in. It would be very obvious that it was the room we played in because it looked badass. It was all lit up red and shit. That shit was awesome.
They want to bring everything back but Verdansk because you got to move on from Verdansk. If you heard of Warzone Mobile, you can go pre-register for that and then you can go get Verdansk.
Um,
Goodness gracious.
how
It's
does
all red, no bullshit. What?
How does tax stance work exactly? Is it something you can toggle in game, or is it part of building a class loadout? I believe, yeah, it says right here. I even have the tweet still up right now. Dynamically enter and exit a stance that trades accuracy for mobility, dramatically increases ADS speed, designed for aggressive CQB combat. So I guess in my specific tweet, I don't say whether or not you can toggle it. I don't know if the notes said if you could. Do you know?
You can talk. I don't know what the notes said. I tweeted out you can toggle it. How do you toggle it? You'll find out when they reveal multiplayer.
Yep, and that could change based on what we played as well. From what we played.
Um, let's see. Is COD HQ going to work the same way on consoles as it does on PC? It should work the same way. Although I did notice some people did state that like MW3 is listed as a separate application. Um, so I don't know how it's going to work exactly. We'll have to wait and find out together. Um, so we'll see what they say.
For everybody in
Swag.
chat that has asked this 20 times, Charlie answered it earlier. I tweeted about it probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm not getting annoyed with you guys, but I just want the COD community to all be on the same page. Verdansk is not fucking coming back for Warzone. Stop. It's not. It'll be on COD Mobile. That's it. You'll get it in the campaign for the open combat missions. They're going to use it to help market this game. That's smart of them.
Okay.
I mean, you said the same thing earlier. Somebody asked if Verdansk was coming back. You said no. You
Yeah,
just
you
moved on to the
constantly
next
move
one.
guys. Verdansk, you can play Verdansk in the campaign if you want. So go for it, man. You can't play it in Warzone though. Play it in the
Exactly.
campaign, sure. Play it. Go play the open combat missions if you want to experience only select parts of Verdansk. Not get the full Verdansk back either way.
So not a single person
Yeah,
asked about ranked on launch. I believe somebody did, but we can't answer that for you.
yeah, that was asked, but I don't can't give you an answer to that. Um, let's see here.
Oh yeah, this is a question that's been asked that they didn't talk about, but do kill streaks loop? Don't know.
I don't know.
Not a bad question though. Definitely
This is the
something.
most.
If the COD community says they want kill streaks to loop, and we took that information to Sledgehammer, and it was like a unanimous yes, why would they not loop? I bet they would do it.
The most ridiculous tweet I've ever seen.
I do not look
I'm not
like a
gonna
mini
read it.
Captain Price. I do not.
Is it the should I be worried about tax stance? No. Um. Wow. Is it the classic prestige system? No. Well, I don't know. Let me not say it. No, because I don't really know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Um. Does the campaign take place at two different times, or does that mean the new? They didn't go that in depth on story. Some of it has to be exciting to go play, people. Like,
It-
if we tell you the whole story today, then what's the point of that?
Precisely.
Um,
Is there
did you
weapon
see any?
mounting? Yes, there is. You can see it in the campaign.
Did you see anything about the new Warzone map? Yeah, so they showed us for zombies. They showed us a tactical sort of map image of it, and it's like the outline of Las Almas from the campaign from last year. If you guys remember that little teaser Easter egg, but the inside of that, the terrain was all like desert and like Middle East set area, so it won't be in Mexico or whatever. Um, says that tax stance. I don't think I can answer that. Or maybe I can. Do you know anything about them bringing the DLC maps from 2009, like Carnival or Trailer Park? I asked, and they said they are thinking about it. Well, I'll say. Okay, no confirmation or denial. They said they're thinking about it. So we'll see maybe what they decide to do. Dalek said zombies is in the past between the campaign. Well, all I can say about the campaign is that the mission they showed us legitimately said October like 15th, 2023.
Yep.
So like now. Rebirth Island question mark. That vanished, so guess that's gone. Were there any pro players at the event? Um,
There's
um
been there were.
well, one of them tweeted out, half of them tweeted out that they played, so I
Oh,
guess
they
some of them
did.
played it.
They did.
Oh,
Okay.
Clayster tweeted a damn image from his hotel room that
That
was
was
like next door to the
ridiculous. I
studio.
can't believe when I saw
So
that, I was like, bro, if that was me, I'd be fucking cooked. But
yeah, so like
the pros played
October
it. I
15th,
believe that we played it before the pros this time.
yeah. October 15th is means it's a futuristic COD. Well, the game comes out November 10th, so
Can one of y'all explain how we
actually
just blew up Observatory, but it's still the same in Warzone? It's a fictional video
just
game.
it's just for the event. It's not for the actual game. Unless the next season will do it.
The event
They
was
said
dope.
all seasonal they said all seasonal maps would be new, so no more remakes.
Yeah, you
I
be
wouldn't.
careful with that wording.
That wording was really interesting from their PR team in that blog. I don't think that all new might get some people.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have said that.
Nah, they
But
probably. Did you
yeah.
ever PM them about that? We're like, hey, y'all might want to read your wording here.
Yeah, I didn't get an answer on that they're gonna change it, and they didn't change it. The blog says all new. I mean the gameplay description on stores even say all new. So
Damn.
that's weird. I don't
Yeah.
know why they did that. They're putting themselves in that irritating position where everyone says they lied if there's remakes.
Are there custom
Uh,
reticles in the game? MW2 didn't have any. MW2 did. You couldn't customize them though. You had to buy them with your blueprint, which is fucking dumb. Can't answer that question.
yeah, can't answer that. Um, let's see. We did say in the past the map changed in these Xbox. Slide canceling, is it confirmed? Is it similar to the old OOX? You gotta go play it for yourself to figure out the button combinations.
DMZ coming to MW3 will only be playable in MW2. I don't know. They didn't say a word
I
about
don't know.
DMZ.
I don't know. Um, any talk about the future of the Call of Duty League? Wait for um Microsoft deal to close before we worry about CDL.
There's a clip of London in the trailer. Piccadilly remastered confirmed.
I hope not.
Fuck that map. That map is so
They
shitty.
said that they aren't discussing the future of DMZ at this time. Yeah, but I mean, it was very omnibus vibes around DMZ. I
Why are
don't
we
know if,
skipping your bee hopping question? Because we can't answer it.
what is bee hopping, right? I don't know. Never heard of bunny hopping. Don't know what that is.
It's CharlieIntel here. He is here.
Did you see that SHG care more about the CDL than IW? I have an answer to that, but I'm gonna get yelled at by some people if I answer that the way I want to answer that.
Rebirth
You want to
Island
go
has been in
first, though.
Blackout and MW 2019. Will it be in MW3? I don't. I don't
Guys,
fucking know, dude.
like that's a insane question.
You guys need to ask
Deep.
questions that you think would pertain to like while we were there. Like these are we're talking to Sledgehammer Games devs, not Raven Software. That would be a Raven question.
That's an image.
Did you like what we played? I liked how what it I liked their description of the game.
The description was really nice.
It was really cool. It was really unexpected how free their description of the game was. It was
Yeah,
like they made it sound like you could just fly all over the place.
the description was wild. It was very exciting. The description was just so hype. When will the Warzone trailer be released? Like, what the heck? Did anyone mention skill-based matchmaking? Yeah, skill-based matchmaking, it's there and it's tuned up to the max.
Did anyone mention the word sentinels in regards to playstyles? No, we were trying not to
No.
throw punches while we were at the Q&A period.
No, but like that's the biggest thing too. They didn't even talk about like we care about Sentinels, we care about this. It was like we care about everybody, which was a very nice change of pace.
It was all about honoring the
Um,
player, no matter how the player wanted to play.
um, Jetpacks confirmed. What?
Oh, because I
Jetpacks?
said flying. No, there's no fucking
Oh,
jetpacks, dude.
no jetpacks. Who's in charge of not bringing back for? I don't know. Is there respawn timers in this game? Don't know. Did CharlieIntel drop above at 1 KD? Yes.
He was
That's
straight. He was
yeah.
doing straight.
Doing fine until Scope showed up.
Stop. I was doing fine until Noah showed up.
Freaking Scope showed out of nowhere. Upgrade perk, Stalker upgrade. Who knows about
Was
Stalker perks?
150 health nice? It certainly sounded wonderful.
It sounded like the longer TTK would be just so great.
Is CharlieIntel a sentinel? No, Charlie is firmly in the middle. He's not a sentinel. He's above that.
I run into everywhere,
Yeah,
especially on these old maps. I just sprint in. I'll be that person with like 20 deaths just because I captured the objectives. That's the other thing. So many freaking people at this event capture the objectives.
dude,
Even
we're
content
not
creators
fucking
don't capture
playing
the
objective. I
objectives.
played objective. We're not
Uh-uh.
fucking playing objective at an early gameplay session.
Insane. Yeah, we are.
You're such a fucking
Um,
scrub.
Freaking running around. Capture the damn objective. What exactly did you guys get to play test? So we play.
I think we're allowed to say which nah.
No,
No, they mentioned it
has
in our
anything.
presentation. They said which 5 maps we'd be playing. Like
Oh, you're
way
right.
before the QA. They told us which 5 we'd be playing. Any of the COD people that are listening, if we can say which 5 you said during presentation we would play, please DM me. I would like to tell people which 5.
There's no PR left in this.
Oh fuck.
Unless they're in your kick stream. I don't see PR left in the spaces.
I don't think so. They probably realized that we covered all the scary stuff.
And then they left right as we started talking QA. I don't see PR, so I don't think they'll respond.
Do you believe this is one reason they shut down IW4X or SM2, remastering all the maps? I mean, if it was my IP, I would have shut those things down a long time ago.
Uh, Favela was definitely the maps you played. No, it actually definitely was not.
Yeah, it actually definitely was not.
It definitely was not one of the maps.
Did the guns have real names? We've already confirmed no.
My favorite MW2 map, without question, is High Rise.
Mine too. Mine too. We did the
Without
whole
question.
let chat rank the tier list, and they actually
Yeah.
did a good job, man. I think High Rise is
Yeah.
definitely better than Terminal.
Yeah. Y'all played Terminal, obviously. We obviously
Bro's just gonna
actually
keep
did
naming.
not.
He's just gonna keep naming fucking maps until we say.
Yeah. We actually did not. So there you go. You guys got 2 maps we did not play. Well, Hunter TV still camp. Well, that's his whole brand. So
That's a good question from Alsop. Did the map say the location they were located? I didn't check, but I wish I would have. And plus, I wouldn't be able to tell you anyways. But that's a really good question.
maps take place wherever they want to take place.
Here, back. Go to the restroom again. We'll probably keep going for like another 20 minutes of questions, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. So you played Shoot House. What's Shoot House? I'm gonna get yelled at for that question. But not playing Terminal is crazy. Well, you have to ask Sledgehammer Games why they selected the maps they selected for us to play. Um, any details of Cutthroat? Cutthroat is 3v3v3 round-based elimination style game mode played on the 6v6 maps. Hope that helps. I didn't play it, didn't see any gameplay of it, so no, sorry, can't tell you what it's like. Charlie, will there be an entering the map like they did in CW? I can't talk about that. Sorry. Did they confirm beta dates yet? No, they didn't officially announce the beta, but um The rumor from whenever Tom Henderson leaked it was in October. Swag said he played on Rust. Well, Swag did not play on Rust. Swag's lying to y'all. In what universe did Swag play on Rust? Swag's out here telling people in his video he played on Rust. What the hell? Um,
He must have been there
do
an
you
extra
think
day.
he must have played a separate session that we didn't play at? Do you think they'll do another COD next style event for MP reveal? No idea. They didn't say what MP reveal will be like. This is a whole new game. Oh, Swag didn't say that, so the guy was trolling me. Oh, cool. Yeah, so we didn't play. I can actually say this because this was in the briefing part, not the gameplay part. They showed us like a brief overview of Rust, and it looked great. So, there you go. Did anyone play on old gen consoles? No, it was PC and PS5, which I don't think I should have said, but I said it.
I think that we're good. Everything from presentation was good, so I think we're
Everything
good to say.
sounded great.
No, I mean like
Everything.
when it comes to what we can and can't say. I think we can tell the people which 5 maps we played. That was
Okay,
during
so
presentation. We played Karachi, we played
go for it.
Scrapyard, we played High Rise. No, we didn't play High Rise. We played Karachi, we played Scrapyard. Keep going. I don't have my notes up.
It was Karachi, Scrapyard, Skid Row, um, Invasion, and Afghan.
And Afghan. Yep, those 5.
Those are the 5 maps we played, and now we eagerly await PR to yell at us for saying those 5. But
It's in the
um,
presentation.
this is the 5 we played. It's funny because the overview video trailer thing they showed us also included Rust, but we didn't play Rust. Fuck Afghan.
Maybe that's why people are saying that Kashet, or not that people are saying that Swag said he played Rust. Maybe he's saying he saw what new Rust looks like.
Yeah, we didn't play Rust. The maps, guys, the maps are the exact same locations you remember them. They're just fully remastered. Were the spawns good? I don't know. I never spawned.
There was a question about the spawns that I think will be able to be answered at a later date
Yeah,
during
sorry, I
the
never
Q&A
spawned in.
session.
Yeah, we never spawned in. Sorry. Maybe they had to cancel Rust. No, they intentionally told us the 5 that we were going to play. There's a whole slide that showed the 5 we were going to play. How good did Afghan look? I don't know
That's an
how.
impression. Well, we can
Um,
tell you what the flyby looked. The flyby of all the maps looked amazing.
they look great. Yeah. Fully remastered means the visuals and everything are brought to life. They didn't. Can't even answer that. I wish they let us talk about gameplay impressions, man. There was so much we could say
I know.
that would calm people down about certain things. Are they continuing with Al Mazrah, a new map? There's a new map. I don't know if there's like Al Mazrah will still be available. Flags in the same place in Domination? I can't answer that. Are we getting jetpacks?
Listen, we can't say, but you guys are thinking that some of the words I said means that I'm saying jetpacks. I'm 100% telling you that no fucking jetpacks right now.
Yes. Whoever answered that question, whoever asked that question, yes, we know when we can talk about gameplay, but we can't say that date. Sorry.
Yeah.
Um, there is a date and time we can talk about multiplayer
We
gameplay,
did
but I
the
can't
same thing
tell.
last year. Like if you guys listen to any of our content from last year, we did the exact same thing. Eventually,
Yeah.
we will be able to talk about what we played.
What is when is the character release date of the CharlieIntel operator?
Oh shit, my phone's dead, so I'm no longer in the Twitter space. Oh, I
That's
can.
funny. Doug's phone died, so he's no longer in the spaces. Can you try to join the web or no?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a charger real quick. We're not going that much longer, but I at least want to be in the space for the ending.
Yeah, give us a second. Doug's phone died. I'll keep answering questions though while we wait for him to come back. Um, are there any events and stuff to come? They didn't tell us any upcoming events that we can talk about publicly, unfortunately. Um, let's see. Why don't they get pros in most important pros played? I'm not answering that. AC went. That's not what he meant by flying. Does every gun from Modern Warfare 2 transfer? Yes, every single gun from Modern Warfare 2 will be there on day one, playable. Did they say jetpacks are never coming back? I don't know
No.
about never. I don't know
No.
about I can't answer never. Did MW3 finally feel like COD 2.0? They need to never say COD 2.0
Yeah, they
again.
don't need to ever do that
And they
again.
need to and they need to never say new era again. That gosh. Ooh.
Can you use MW2
Um
guns in MW3 even if you don't own them? If you've unlocked them.
Yeah, if you've unlocked the gun in MW, whatever. Is your phone still dead?
Mm-hmm.
Can
It
you
just
join
turned
the
back on. I'm
Spaces in?
joining. I'm joining now on the phone.
Do all completion camos transfer over? Yes. All camos are available to use immediately. On MW2 weapons only. Let me just be that clear. Sorry, let me make that clear. On MW2 weapons only, you can use MW2 camos. Will they rework or rebalance some weapons in the new game? They're obviously going to do weapon balancing, but it's too soon to tell. I think they want people to play it in the beta.
I'm back in the call.
Turn your. Oh, is
I
it
did.
making a speaker?
I turned it down.
I was like, holy shit. Okay. There you go. Graphics, bro. Talk graphics. Graphics were great.
We've already said they looked phenomenal.
Graphics were fantastic.
Somebody earlier asked if it
Um,
looked plasticky. My answer to that is no.
Nothing. It looked like a movie.
Yeah, it did.
You're muted on the spaces.
God damn it. All right.
It looked like a movie scene is what it looked like.
It did.
Um,
It looked fantastic.
the game. I'm not making a sniping montage. Ask Scope. He'll make one.
How does the open world campaign work? So they showed us a mission that we can talk about from it, where it basically was they said that these missions are supposed to be more difficult. And it basically showed us a player going through and trying to do this mission like 12 different times in 12 different ways. And each time the player would die, it would do like this rewind thing where it would show you go back and then they would go through and redo it a different way. Like, for instance, one way they go through a shack, right? And they kill two guys and they think they're good, but no, there's a guy waiting behind a door that knifes you and kills you. So you go back, you realize he's there. Okay, you deal with him. You walk through the next door. There's a trip mine. Okay, let's try to go around the other side of the map. Like, basically, they're going to be more difficult, but there's multiple ways you can approach clearing it. There is no linear path to victory. Kashav, how did you perform in your games compared to me? We couldn't tell who each other was. Our names on the thing was like a bunch of numbers. We only knew because people told us.
And people told us who they were afterwards. I knew who Scope was because he sat next to me. That's sort of why I kept getting mad at him the
I
whole
knew who
time.
Noah was because I found out at dinner later when I was asking about certain things.
Yeah. Any physical editions? There is a Steelbook edition only at GameStop.
That's cool.
That's that. Charlie was screen peeking. I was not screen peeking. It was pretty far away from each other to see each other's screens. Scope and I were just trash talking.
I was sitting next to Sally as a dog.
Yeah, I was next to Scope. So there's no screen peeking nonsense happening.
Dalek
You
tweeted
two
that
really
Zombies was presented by KD, who is the designer behind Zombies for Treyarch, who didn't work on Vanguard Zombies SW. Cool. I
no,
I really I like mentioning developers by name, but I kind of moved away from that.
yeah. Can your Twitch chat ban or Twitch your Kick chat ban Shadow Official, please? Because goddamn. Um. Let's see. Will all MW2 2022 maps be in the game? I don't know, guys. We don't know anything about MW2 2022 carrying over. I think we answered every question we possibly can before we get yelled at by people for saying things we shouldn't.
Do you hope
Um,
this is the last COD on old consoles to give new consoles its full potential? 3 years is enough time for an upgrade. I personally hope, but I don't know how that's going to go with Microsoft making all the promises they do to bring it to Switch. I have no fucking clue.
wait, wait. Look at Sledgehammer's Twitter. If you look at Sledgehammer's new tweet, that picture they just posted, that's tax stands. Let me tweet this. Save photo. Well, they made a whole thread. Okay, here we go. Let's read Sledgehammer Games' new Twitter thread.
I'll
I mean,
pull it
that
up on
image, bro.
screen. Hold up.
That image is tax stands in Sledgehammer's new Twitter post at SH Games. Um, so it says here, so Sledgehammer's new tweet, it says tax stance balances mobility and accuracy, allowing for evasive maneuvers and aggressive engagements. It's available on most weapons, including those carried forward from MW2, and can be dynamically toggled anytime during gameplay. The map in that image is Karachi, if you're just wondering. Um, It also says here, sliding has been enhanced with offensive capabilities. By default, tack stance is allowed during the slide, and an equipable perk enables ADS precision. Additional tuning includes increased control over slide direction and the option to cancel the animation to get back onto your feet. So slide cancel. And then getting caught during a reload shouldn't mean the end of your kill streak. While reloading a weapon with ammo remaining in the magazine, you can get back into, so reload cancel is confirmed. So there you have those two things. Also very interesting to know that image that Sledge tweeted looks to be the ACR.
That could be a
Correct me if I'm
scar.
wrong.
It could be a
Oh
scar.
yeah.
Actually, no, the iron sight doesn't match with a scar. That could be a fucking ACR. You're right.
I think it's the ACR. Trying to tweet this image up.
Oh, wait. That kind of does look like a laser sight aiming, but I don't think that's supposed to be a laser. I think that's a bullet coming back at him from the operator he's aiming at. It kind of looks like that laser they put on some of the guns in MW2, the canted sight laser. I don't think that's what this is, though. I'm pretty... They wouldn't tweet a picture of this, yeah, if it wasn't the tactical stance.
Yeah, it's the ACR, and that's tactical stance. So I can't say the official name of it, but it's the ACR. Well, that's funny. Sledgehammer Games tweeted that thread out, then rejoined our spaces. Welcome back. So they confirmed in their tweets.
Alt text
the
confirms his tech stance.
Okay, I don't need alt text to confirm it. We like let's get real at this point.
Okay.
But so I mean, tag stance. So they explain tag stance, so you can see the image. Then they confirmed in their second tweet in the thread, slide canceling is back. They did confirm there's additional tuning options, so additional perks and stuff that you can tune to increase the control of our slide directions. And then they confirmed the reload cancel is back. So if you have magazine stuff left over, you're able to cancel. It's not like what Infinity Ward did.
Even the wording on these tweets still gives me that tongue-in-cheek vibe I got from in person, you know? It says getting caught during a reload shouldn't mean the end of your kill streak. It's almost like they're looking at somebody as they say that.
I mean, the image if you look at the image Sledgehammer Games tweeted, like the graphics, that's like in-game, by the way.
Yeah. And look, this is another dude, this is great. I'm glad that they posted this, because look at the gun, right? We see the fire from the muzzle flash, right? You know what you don't see? Smoke. You can actually see what's in front of you. I think that shit. We're getting into that gray area. Let me just shut up.
It's AC. Yeah, for people who keep asking, that image is ACR and Karachi. Like, if you've played MW2, you know what the map is, people. Like, I don't know what this is. Like, people keep debating it in my mentions. That's Karachi. Like, is the sliding while shooting a perk? Oh, well, this is saying that it's
no tactical stance. Yeah,
tactical stance is available. That's what I'll say. Tactical stance is available. I can't talk about your other part of that question. Sledgehammer Games taking the. I'm not going to read the rest of that.
Look, once lit, bottom left of the hole in the wall. Bro's just dead. There is just a dead body fucking sitting there.
Yeah, there you go. You can see the boots. I don't know what boots that are, but you can see some boots there. Maybe it's the covert sneakers.
Do the models still do the leaning shit? That's a very good question that I cannot answer. That is a good question, though. And one that I went into the play session wondering myself.
Is tack stance like leaning? Oh, that's gonna get into.
Yeah, don't
answer that. They're not describing it as leaning.
Mounting is leaning. Mounting has always been leaning.
They're not describing it as leaning. Is there mounting? Yes. They said that you can mount faster or mantle faster. I don't know mounting, mantle. I don't know about mounting actually. There is mantling. Can you bunny hop? What's bunny hop? What's bunny hop? I never heard that before. The canted laser? I guess Merc. Oh, Merc is not in the spaces. He's tweeting me though. Okay, Merc. I don't think it's like that. It's not an attachment. It's you don't need a perk
It's a
or something to
decision.
get into tax stance. Yeah, you don't need like a special equipment or something. Their tweet said that most guns will have it, and it'll be very obvious if a gun has it, is what I'll say. It'll be very obvious if a gun can tax stance or not. It's not going to be something like, oh, I have to guess and choose. It'll be very obvious.
And all you'll need to do once you can actually play the game to find out if your gun gets it is try to shoot while sliding. You'll see.
You'll see things. Are we in the COD 3.0 era? If they ever assign a number to the COD era again, that's their marketing team needs a recheck. Like,
Is it a perk that
needs
makes
a
you strafe faster? They did. They didn't. Excuse me. It was leaked before we
leak.
even went out there that
Is
Stalker
Doug
was
leaking
back.
stuff?
I'm not leaking anything. I'm saying what the leak
Mhm.
said. I don't know if it's in the game. I'm just saying what
What
the
do you
leak
want?
said. I'm just saying, based on the rest of what we heard, though, I would not be surprised because it seems like they're really leaning in towards being able to have faster strafe speeds.
Yeah, but there is a beta, no alpha. Is there news about the game at Gamescom next week? Nothing has been announced. Um, if it's at there, Jeff Keighley should announce something, but he hasn't said anything, so no idea yet. What was y'all personal record in? I think I got 30 kill one game, 28 kills. That was when I had good players on my team.
I had a 42 kill game. The highest I
Yeah, I
saw
had
was almost a 50.
no beta details yet, right? It's no dates or anything like that. TBD on dates. Do you think we'll ever? Yes, we're gonna get cartoony anime skins. Like get you. That's gonna happen. Those sell better than anything. Um. All right. Thanks. Quick scoping confirmed. Said he said scoped was best. Go watch Scope's video. I think he like talks about his feeling of the words used.
Oh no.
I had 200 plus and a penta nuke. Too bad no recordings. All right, J God. Alrighty. I don't think I saw more than like 20 over there.
I had a 6 on and it was
200.
just swag. Like I killed swag 6 times on the kill feed before anybody else was able to get a kill.
Yeah. J God never lies. Yeah, so J God did get a 200 kill game, guys.
Doug,
J God
please
never
make a
lies.
shadow ban tweet again. It's been a while. Shit is being swept under. Dude,
It's
I
not being
don't
swept
want
under.
to.
They're figuring it out.
Okay, there we go. They're figuring it out.
It's not being swept under. Also, it's interesting to know. Someone did point this out. The Vault Edition has 2 Vault weapons, which is more than MW2 ever had.
God damn it.
1 year later. So there you go. There's 2. Yeah, there's 2 Vault weapons. More than MW2 ever had. They had 1. Yeah. Whoever just asked, weapon vaults. There's 2 in the thing. Why don't you just? Does the kill feed have 6 lines? Who knows? Who knows what it has?
That's my
Is
fault
there a
for
kill
saying
feed?
what I just said. Yeah, that was purely hypothetical, chat. Don't build anything off of the swag joke. God damn
Is
it.
there a kill feed?
Yeah.
Charlie, do you recommend BattleNet or Steam?
The
I would recommend using whatever you want to use. I play Call of Duty on PlayStation, so I can't answer PC.
Is
Was there any questions? Oh, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
keep going. You're good. I was gonna read the same thing.
Was there any questions about performance on PC? No, but I would say that I think Beanox is aware of issues in the current game.
Doug, we need answers on how you plan to combat the confusion between Modern Warzone and Modern Warfare Zombies. I don't know. Call of Duty has never used my logo, or they haven't used my logo still, but never used MWZ in any of their shit. I'm kind of nervous. Hopefully they choose to stay chill about it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Buy on Steam so you can get okay. Sniper ADS times. The snipers are TBD. Go play it and figure it out. There's no way that that question from that latest guy is real. So I'm not gonna even read that. Um, what's stopping them from taking out these features when they release? I don't.
You have to
answer that.
understand is that they have their this is gonna sound so fucking dramatic. Right now, the overall COD community's perception of Call of Duty as a franchise is in the fucking gutter. Right now, people think that they don't listen and that they think they know better than their player base, which is fair if their data suggests it. Fine. It's pretty obvious with the way this game is going, though, that they do care about what the perception of them is to their audience, and
But who's
they're
they? Because that's when
they
this
is
question becomes
Activision.
interesting. Who's they? Because
They is Activision.
you know I mean, like, well, I mean, you know how we all got here, but like, perception is it? But how we got into this place where there's a blog announcing the game features that is quite literally saying we're undoing the mess of the last year is something insanity, right? Like that shit's. It's not even like, oh, we're going from an Infinity Ward game to a Treyarch game, and Treyarch's adding this shit back. We are staying within the Modern Warfare universe, and they're undoing everything of the last year.
You have a serious
So,
yeah, keep going.
so that's all I'm going to point out is that Sledgehammer Games is clearly listening, and what that means about other studios in the future, CODs, who knows? But I think for the next 12 months with Sledgehammer Games, we're going to have a good time.
Illuminati G has been saying all like for the past 2 hours. Thank you for pointing it out, man. You have been fucking dedicated. I think I've seen you say this 10 times. Guys, look up the SN6 from Advanced Warfare, then look at the weapon and the weapon in the Vault Edition. It's the exact same. I'll look at that, and if they're the exact same, I might post a picture of it. Thank you.
Don't read the thing that that guy said.
Yeah, yeah, that's dumb.
Uh, they may this may be way too much to answer, but is Activision hands off when it comes to gameplay designs? I can't answer because I don't know the truthful answer of who is involved in what.
I would say,
Sledgehammer always listens. Yeah,
yeah,
Sledgehammer always listens.
my final thought for
Okay.
this is to not be a COD simp, but fuck, I did
Oh,
the
here we
same
go.
thing. I did the same thing for
Ad.
Vanguard.
Hashtag COD partner.
I did the same thing for
Go
Vanguard
ahead.
and I got cooked for it, but fuck it, I'm doing it again.
Go
Give
ahead.
Sledgehammer Games the benefit of the doubt, bro. Give them the benefit of the doubt. They had to make a World War II game. It clearly didn't do well at launch, and they were told to move on to this game. And a lot of people use that as a reason to justify why they're not willing to give this game a chance. It's because Sledgehammer Games shit the bed with Vanguard. Well, Vanguard actually had very fast movement, very fast gameplay. Sledgehammer Games added the radar perk after we had all bitched about no red dots on the minimap. It's quite clear that they did want to listen to a high degree, but then they got pushed to this project. And then they just started dropping content that made the game less balanced and worse and worse. And they were just pumping content into it they had already made. They weren't as worried about it. With this game, it's going to be different. This game is going to sell well. This game is going to have an audience that's going to play it and not just write it off for being a World War II, a World War II skin on a previous game. This game is also improving on everything they possibly can that the community has asked for with the last game. I would just say to the people who say that Sledgehammer is not listening and says that we're shills for suggesting they will listen, just look at the history. There's proof. Everything that we've talked about so far today is fixing what's wrong with this previous game.
Yeah, like it is. You don't need proof from us. Look at the blog today. Look at what's been announced today. It's legitimately everything we've been asking for.
And it's okay if you're still not happy with that and you think it's bullshit that we had to wait this long to get it. That is totally fine. And it's also okay if you don't want to buy into this hype. But I would not be pointing my finger at Sledgehammer Games and saying it's your fault. I don't trust you. I would not be doing that. Because from my perspective, out of all of the COD studios, they listen to fan feedback more than any other studio.
Proof will be in the gameplay. Yeah, play the beta. It's gonna be a free beta. 1 weekend will be free. Go play it yourself. If you don't like it, don't play it. It's not that complicated. I feel so many people think that they have to force themselves to play it every year. You don't want to play it, don't play it.
No, if you don't want to buy the game, don't buy the fucking game. I'm not going to encourage anybody to buy the game. What I'm saying is the COD community for the past 12 months has been bitching about everything that Sledgehammer Games has so far announced about this game. If you're going to look at this game that we know about so far, if you're going to look at MW3 and say that it sucks, well, I'm sorry, you are impossible to please. They literally, everything that this game is so far that's been announced is everything that the vocal COD community has been asking for 12 months. I don't know what else people
So
want.
I think we'll end it here because I'm exhausted. But
Yeah, me too.
I appreciate everyone joining today. I think we had almost 1,500 listeners at one point. Um, you know, there's a lot more to come about this game as it gets to launch, so we'll continue to do more spaces and more sort of things to make sure we keep everybody informed on everything. Um, but I'm excited for this game,
Same.
and I think that we're in for a much better year than what we had to go through with what Sledgehammer is doing. And if you don't believe us and you don't want to agree with us, play the beta. It's going to be an open beta. You can play it yourself. You can try it out. You like it, you like it. You don't like it, you don't like it. It's up to you. But I'm excited, and I think that there's a lot more to come. I know people have a lot of questions about gameplay, multiplayer reveal, beta dates. a lot of more information that they have to reveal. They only got 2.5 months or 3 months to launch, so we'll probably get info pretty quickly as we work towards launch. But that's all I got.
I mean, I don't really have anything else. I think that last spiel was my like soapbox moment. Like I said,
Yeah.
you guys do your thing. I don't advise you to take what either myself or CharlieIntel say is gold. I just want you guys to know that we are being genuine with this feedback. We're not being paid for this. We're not doing this to get invites to stuff. We along with every other content creator I walked into that event with went in expecting nothing. And we all came out, and I walked around to every content creator, anybody that's watching this would watch on YouTube, and I asked them individually what they thought. Every single person I asked, it was a thumbs up. So we're not just trying to overhype the game, I promise. We're happy. We seem happy because we're happy for the COD community. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think that's it. Thanks everyone for listening. If you missed any part of the spaces, I believe the spaces is recorded. So when I hit end, you can listen to it back. We talked about all the modes and answered a bunch of questions. But yeah, I appreciate everybody joining and listening today. And if you missed out on the reveal event in Warzone, you can play it until 21st of August. So if you want to go get that M13C or the other rewards, you have until the 21st of August to play the event and see the reveal trailer in game. But yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, absolute. Massive W
All
podcast.
right,
Thank you guys for listening. I will be putting this one up on Spotify tomorrow. It will be there.
there you go. Alrighty. Thanks, guys, for your stream.